1. Here we are. Let's see. Welcome back, everybody. Curmudgeon's Corner. I believe we are Curmudgeon's Corner number 9 with our special friend and guest, Tim, Titan Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing. It's always nice to have you here, Tim. I think we just saw you last week.
Hey,
good to
everybody.
see you out there.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Looks like Cat Guy's in the house, and well, obviously you are, and Papa Smurf. What's going on, Papa? Humberto's in the house, and looks like Cash. We'll let people kind of climb in before we start diving into all kinds of stuff. We'll just say hello to everybody, but it's good to see everybody. The usual suspects are always here to support us, and that's always fantastic. What's up there, Mark? Mark was also one of the attendees at the Southern Detailers Conference. It was great to meet him and hang out with him, and he definitely did. He hung in there. I know that he was tired, but he hung in there with all of us as our antics kind of spilled all over Louisville, Kentucky, and that was a good time. No doubt.
That was awesome.
Yeah, we really had a good time. Let's see here. Hey, hello, John. Welcome in. Good to see you. Does that CA mean that you're John? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's John from Canada. What's that all about? Thanks for joining us.
Superato
2K is in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. So what's you been up to there, Tim? How do you spend your nights?
Spend my nights watching YouTube videos. I got to catch up. There's so many YouTube streams and videos and stuff like that you either watch them at night or else early in the morning during coffee, one or the other.
Yep, for sure. I know that I've been overrun since the Southern Detailers Conference. I have been overrun with trying to catch up on Instagram. And I absolutely hate stories. I hate them. Because if I don't get to them within a 24-hour period, they're gone. And then I always have to ask whoever posted it, hey, sorry, I missed your post. Can you show it to me again? Would you mind?
Yep.
It's just not fair. I need more time. Give me 36 hours, Instagram. Give me 36 hours for a good story.
Yes, indeed. No, I've been keeping really busy here too. Yesterday I did a 1978 Mercedes convertible, and that paint really came back to life. So it was pretty dull, and she's getting ready to put it on Haggerty.
It's awesome. Yeah, you sent me some pictures. Again, you sending me pictures, other people sending me pictures, and I don't respond to them. And then I ended up getting a phone call. I want to say it was one of the holidays. I got a phone call from Nacho Man. And he was like, hey, you hadn't really responded to anything that I said in a couple of 3 days. I just wanted to call you and make sure everything was okay. I'm like, yeah. I went out to see my family. I apologize. Hey, did you happen to bring any apple juice with you? Because I brought mine. Apple juice.
Phoenix E.O.D.
Yeah.
Bullet in the side.
It's got a bullet in the side of it. I decided to switch up. I love that glass. I decided to switch mine up just a little bit, though, because as of late, I've been feeling a little bit cocky. So I don't know if you can read this one, but this is one of my favorites.
Can
you read it?
Can't quite read it.
Oh, come on.
Oh, now I can see it on my computer. Yes, here we go. Nice.
Anybody know what that's from? Papa Smurf just got off.
And no thing.
I mean, wait, just got off work. Sorry. I
do not know that one.
It's actually a quote from Game of Thrones, where Peter Dinklage's character, that's what he says. I drink and I know things. It's what I do.
Yep.
There it is. Tracy knows it. Booyah. Well done.
Sweet.
All right. So we are about 5 minutes into this, so why don't we skip the pleasantries and just kind of cut into it. So this is the Southern Detailers Conference 1 week after review, and you were an attendee. You were not an exhibitor. So I just kind of wanted to know what your thoughts were. I know what my thoughts were. Obviously, I've been in pretty constant communication with the Four Horsemen.
Yep.
Tell me what your thoughts were on the whole. I'd like to know what, from your point of view, what you think of the show.
Well, as far as from that point of the view, the show itself could have been bigger. There could have been more exhibitors there. The attendance was a little on the light side, but the positive side of that is if it was light, people have more an opportunity to ask more questions, because I was behind your booth. The Four Horsemen were behind your booth, and you were there too, obviously. But you're able to ask more in-depth questions and get to know what the attendees, what level, what they're looking for. They're looking for different types of compounds, polishes, ceramic coatings, and stuff like that. So you're able to get more in depth with people, and It's not just hurry up and you got 30 people in line waiting to talk.
Sure.
So.
No, I didn't get a chance to really walk the show floor at all. With all the stuff that was going, it was really interesting. I got multiple comments that were made that the Phoenix booth was easily the busiest on the show floor. So I didn't really get a chance to check everybody else out. But I mean, did you? Were there other exhibitors or vendors out there that were doing the same thing? That when the stuff that I did see, they're like the other vendors that I saw, other than Auto Geeks, they really didn't have a whole lot of product to demonstrate or play around with. So, I mean, what was your feel on that?
To me, if I'm spending money to go to Louisville, Kentucky from wherever around America or Canada or wherever, it would be nice to be able to purchase some products.
Right.
So I'm glad you brought a lot of product, but from my perspective, I actually want to purchase something.
Sure.
So I'm glad you brought a lot of product. Actually, you sold. I was there just Saturday. I marathoned it, went up on my own dime, marathoned it all night, marathoned it all day.
Sure.
And I would have wanted to come home with something because that's what I like to do at things like expos like that. So I wish other people would have brought stuff, but that's their decision. Right. I think you made the right decision by bringing product.
I appreciate that. I think there's a twofold factor to that. One of the things that I learned at the old company, especially when it comes to like a huge show like SEMA and people are flying in from all over the world, because of the TSA and whatnot, people are really limited to carry on to 2 ounces. And so I think that was a really big deterrent for a lot of people. Hey, Andrew Superior's here and XYZ's here. Good to see you guys.
Cash.
Yep. Oh, there he is. Where have you been, sir? Oh, where have you been? Hope everything's going all right with you, sir. So that being said, we had I was able to actually take Alaska off the board. At my office I have a map of the United States, and I have a map of the world, and every state that we sell to, we put a push pin in there to take it off the board, and every country we sell to, we put a push pin in to take it off the board. And we were able to take Alaska off the board. We had a gentleman named Eric, spelled E-R-I-C-H. Eric came in from Alaska, and he ended up buying some Kraken, and we shipped it to him when we got back into the warehouse on Wednesday. So we were able to take Alaska off the board. That was really exciting. So that is one way around I flew in and I can't carry anything home with me because it's more than 2 ounces. Obviously we can always arrange to have stuff shipped to you, but it makes a valid point.
Yeah.
And I felt that way as well. That I just felt that there needed to be more. There wasn't enough buzz on the show floor and before the show. There just wasn't enough buzz, and I don't know if one is indicative of the other. Like that was our first show, so were other vendors that had been there for the last couple of years. Did they know better? And they knew not to bring any stuff because attendance was going to be down and they weren't going to really move a lot of product. I think percentage wise, of the people that showed up, we did very, very well.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Their buzz was definitely with the Phoenix E.O.D booth. No doubt about it whatsoever. We had people there almost constantly, but it was like a steady stream, especially later in the afternoon. It was
the show floor coordinator, he said he tried to get. He's in a wheelchair. He said he tried to get over to our booth 3 different times, and he couldn't because of all the people in front of the booth. So really, hats off to the 4 horsemen. They really know how to bring a crowd in.
Unbelievable. Yes, it was so wonderful meeting everybody. I met Phil once before, but it was so nice to meet Brian with Fab Automotive Detailing. He is a very high energy guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he really knows how to talk with people and to sell the qualities of the product and stuff like that. And that was great. And Brian with Apex, I mean, talk about laser sharp, laser focused person, extremely knowledgeable, very friendly. We had a lot of conversations and all that. And then of course Papa Smurf. I mean, oh my gosh,
What
a guy.
It's interesting. Two points I want to capitalize on what you just said. The first one with Fab, constantly throughout the entire weekend was just like, I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. But man, can he work a crowd? He is a natural. He is so good. Like, I mean, it's not even. It's not even his booth, and he's just like he's wandering out into the crowd. He's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Phoenix E.O.D? Hey, have you ever heard of Phoenix E.O.D? Now come on over here. Let me show you all." And he's just like, and he's working the panel, and he's interacting with people, and he is a natural. So,
well, you know why that is?
Tell me.
Yeah, he's not a salesman. I'm not a salesman. I'm engineer, okay, but we're very detailed persons, and we're very data driven. In fact, all of us are probably really data driven. And the product is so high quality that drives the enthusiasm, not towards a selling perspective, but more towards look at what is here. Look at this stuff. I mean, it's fantastic. That is doing the driving.
100%. He definitely was selling the passion, and I found from when I used to work for a comic book company, and there were characters that I wasn't really never a real big fan of. But if you were reading that story and it was a really good story, you could sell that passion. We'd go to conventions and I would sell through an entire run of a book, just because of like how exciting this particular book was. And I think that really came through with Fab. And then the other person that you mentioned about Brian from Apex. Were you there? Did you make it to any of the educationals in the morning?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Have you ever, I mean, when I talk about, Master Yoda and the way that he teaches, it is effortlessly his knowledge and his, again, passion um, to instill that knowledge or pass that knowledge on to whoever he's teaching is just so evident. Um, and he's just effortlessly just does it, and he's amazing at it. And I think that it was just great to really. I mean, I've seen it 100 times being up at his shop or doing one of his weekend seminars, but to see that in front of a large crowd like that, just and then encouraging people to participate and get on board of it all, it was really really neat. Mark it was a treat to be able to pick Brian Spittler's mind on the many different aspects of detailing. Yeah, and he never tires of it. It's like I feel like I'm the 4-year-old and he's the parent, and I'm just like, but why? But why? But why? But why? And he never runs out of the patience and explains it all. He's just amazing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to get everybody together like that
Sure.
People had a say into tweaking each product and stuff like that, and everybody together in one area. That was just epic. It really was.
It really
and we
was.
had fun. We had fun. Everybody was naturally associated with each other.
Sure.
In other words, hardly anybody has met each other, and it just flowed so well.
Yeah.
No animosities. I mean, everybody was respectful.
Even more than that, it's not even animosity. Like there's like I get asked a lot of the questions a lot from like the people in my universe, like my board of investors and my wife and stuff like that. And it's just like, well, how aren't these guys technically competitors? And like your product line, isn't that in like direct competition with Brian's product line? And even Fab's, he has his own, he has his private label. How do you guys manage to just get along like that? And I first and foremost, when I asked that question to Brian from Apex, he said, "Hey man, there's plenty to go around." And I just feel that way for all of you guys, and the Four Horsemen in particular, that there is no competition. I mean, there is a true loving relationship between Papa Smurf and Fab. And when I was lucky enough to catch it on film, the first time, even though they've been talking and FaceTiming to each other for years, I was able to get on film the very first time they physically got to meet each other, and it was beautiful. And Eric knows all the members of his of Fab's family, and it's really really beautiful to be a part of and to witness, and just it was great. And then of course when I got to meet Fab for the first time, again I talked to Fab 2 or 3 times a week. He's not just a horseman, but he's also a distributor of Phoenix products. So we talk regularly. But there was just something magical about seeing him in person and being able to put him in a big bear hug and say hello to April and his children. And it really feels like a family, more so than just business associates and things of that nature. This really is a family. You've been there from the beginning. The Four Horsemen have been there from the beginning.
Yep.
Anyway.
So one of the funner moments to me,
okay.
Of course I'm a little odd, but to me is okay. So we went out to and that'll be another conversation. We went out to the Brazilian steakhouse, but afterwards, we got a little ice cream and that, and Phil and Jess were gonna leave, and they were across the street, and I yelled over to Phil, "It's Phil Miranda Detailing."
That was great.
Please like, comment, and subscribe, and then everybody said in unison, "So you don't miss."
That was great. Everybody chanted that. That was awesome. Oh, that really was a good time.
And sure. People were laughing in the streets and clapping and all that. And, I mean, it was really cool.
I thought you were going to mention this.
Yeah,
When we
Yeah,
went to that, we went
I
to that
took that
steakhouse.
picture.
That picture is not doctored at all.
No,
That steak was dropped in front of Eric, and his jaw just dropped.
that
Oh,
was that
that was
was
such a classic moment.
a classic
So
moment.
good.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to rub it in everybody out there in cyber world that's watching this now. If you guys didn't go to the show, and again, the show wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't, I mean, I've been to much better, um, you know, vendor shows and car shows. Even the local car show, I would say, was even better than what I saw at this show. But the experience of being a part of like having a reason for the whole family to come together. It's like grandma and grandpa's 50th or 75th anniversary. You know what I mean? Like everybody, the second cousin 3 times removed. Everybody's coming to that event, and that's what I think for me was truly, truly special about the Southern Detailers Conference. It was an excuse for all of us to get together and just have a great time. The live stream that we did Saturday night with Fab on Fab's channel really is a true testimony of exactly what we did for the last 3 days while we were there. Um, Thursday night, we went out for burgers, and then, of course, we came back and we started drinking, and then Spittler said where he was at, and he didn't stay with us at the hotel because he brought his dog with him.
Mhm.
So he needed a pet friendly hotel, which was like technically 7 city blocks away, but it was like 3 blocks up and then 3 blocks over or whatever. But when he finally told us, "Hey, there's Keith. What's going on, Keith?"
Hey, Keith.
Um, when he finally told us where he was at and having dinner, like we're on our way, and Papa Smurf and and Mark, we all trucked over to the I think it was Patrick O'Shea's or something like that. It was an Irish pub that he was eating at, and then so we party crashed his dinner, and then Papa Smurf found he needed to use the restroom. He disappeared and he got into an elevator, and I honestly, all the details are a little bit fuzzy, but all I know is that like 5 to 10 minutes later, he came back and was like, "I found a speakeasy. Let's go." And so we all clambered onto this elevator, and it took us downstairs into a basement. And turn a corner, turn a corner, turn a corner, and then there's a whole nother bar inside a bar that was just so much fun. And and so again, more drinking and having a good time, and then when it was all said and done, and we decided we were going to make our way back over to our hotel, um, we went our separate ways. I think actually Brian and his son came with us because they wanted to know how to get there tomorrow, the next day, because the show was on Friday. So this was on Thursday, and we ended up running into another group of people that were like, "Hey, we've heard some stories about Louisville. Would you mind if we join your little crew so that safety in numbers?" And we were like, "Sure, more the merrier." So there was like, I don't know, 10 of us walking through the streets of Louisville, perfect strangers and old friends. Just really a good time. Again, if we end up doing it again next year, I just want an even bigger turnout of the Phoenix family.
Yep.
I just want more of more people that we love, more people that are in this group, to just come and hang out and just be a part of that experience. The show kind of, to me in itself, the show itself was weak, but the
Yeah.
experience was epic.
You
That's my
know,
that's my assessment.
you kind of hit on a good point there. When I walked around or looked around a little bit, in each booth, it was pretty much just the people that work for the company.
Yeah.
And in your booth, the people that work for the company is yourself. The four horsemen don't work for you. I don't work for you. I've never received a penny. I mean, that's true family and professionalism and respect and everything like that. And I didn't see that anywhere else.
100%. 100%. And I mean, like guys like Mark and Ryan and Jay,
Mm-hmm.
like Tim from Hawaii. We call him Hawaii Tim now.
Yep.
Hawaii Tim caught the red eye just to fly into Louisville for an opportunity to meet all of us at one time. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is a testimony to what we collectively have built together. And I mean, and this is definitely, hey, look at this guy, huh? Another Australian. Welcome, Pete. Appreciate you. He tags me in everything. I love it.
Nice. Got
Yeah,
Mario in here. Mario Santiago.
that's right. Mario from PR. What's going on?
Sweet.
You and Humberto got to hang out. Yeah, definitely. Humberto, definitely. The show was outside the booth for sure. But unless you're talking to Fab, and for Fab, it was inside the booth because he was pulling people over and sucking them in and just he was razzling and dazzling. It was awesome. It was I as a salesman, as my background in being a salesman, I felt shamed by his abilities. I was like, wow.
Yep.
I thought I was good.
Hey, and I made your first sale Saturday
Yes,
morning.
that's right. That's right. You did. That's right. You did. The other, but what I would say about the show itself, I think that the educationals were really really good.
Yep.
Um, I had Fab and Papa Smurf and Brian from Apex. Miranda was on Saturday. I think he came right at noon. He obviously he did he's such a solid by working us in. He was on vacation up and doing quad running in West Virginia, and he was like, "I'll swing down and and hang out for the day," which was just glorious. But anyway, the educationals, and I think that people really learned a lot. And I've actually had a lot of feedback, and basically, for lack of a better term, customer retention from those educationals. Everybody that came to those educationals has become part of the Phoenix family,
Right.
for lack of a better term. And like Big Mike, I don't know if you remember Big Mike, and his
Absolutely.
girlfriend Dina.
Yep.
He's actually come down to my shop already. He's been down to the warehouse. He came down yesterday. He's coming down again tomorrow. He's going on a big bike, a big bike. I guess it's a cruise, big bike cruise, and he wants to come down and grab a bunch of Titan for the big crew. Yeah. So
Stephanie bought some products.
Stephanie's bought a lot of. She's actually just got certified. Everybody that came to the Saturday shows got certified, and she actually went the whole 9 yards to get the actual certification, hard copy. And she's just it was awesome. It was really awesome to see people that have a lot of experience and people that have very little experience all being able to learn from Master Yoda himself and the other horsemen. It was truly great.
Yep. Yeah, I think going forward, if they have one next year, I think the name needs to be changed because it doesn't really stimulate anybody to go to it. A conference, you're thinking you just sit around and talk a little bit. No, we actually had real live demonstrations, interactive, where actually get your hands dirty. Obviously, there's a lot of booths, but if they change the name to like Shine On Expo, or something, maybe not that, but
And
something
even
catchy.
I get the Southern detailers to a point, like Southern detailers, just obviously because of the location. It's in the South, and it's about detailers. But as far as like conference is concerned, conference doesn't really convey a show. It's like
Right.
I remember when I worked for that comic book company. There was the retailer summit, right? And it was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we'd all go out, and it was basically it was 2 days of seminar. 2 days of seminar, of pretty much what it was for retailers and how to increase your business and this and another thing. And it was just, but it really wasn't, it definitely was not inviting to the weekend warrior. It wasn't
Right.
invited to somebody who, unless you have a full blown business, it wasn't appealing. The name isn't appealing to that.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
And I think that especially for Phoenix, like that, you guys, that's who we are. We're the weekend warrior with, and the professional detailers alike. But, I don't necessarily know if paint correction 101 is for professional detailers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
it definitely is for a weekend warrior. We mimicked what we did based upon Brian's courses. He does a summer course and he does a winter course, and it's a weekend. It's a 2-day course, and we do paint correction on the first day, and we do ceramic installs on the second day. They go hand in hand. So,
Absolutely.
hey,
So
Hawaii
yeah,
Tim,
hopefully
you
they
just
can
missed us
revamp
talking
it.
about you. What's that?
Hopefully they can revamp it a little bit and change the name and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. Richard, exactly. Conference says meeting, not show or venue.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, all right. So Tim, let's talk about you a little bit, huh? Let's get you some publicity. So Tim from Shine Your Light Detailing, he is out of Myrtle Beach / Conway, South Carolina. We had the absolute pleasure of winding down our show in your neck of the woods. We drove out to see you, I think, on Monday. Had a lovely dinner. It was fantastic. I think it was your first time there. What'd you think? What'd you think of that all you can eat crab?
Yeah, it's here like 6 years and never went to an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet, but crab was pretty good. The Cajun crab. Now that had the
Yes,
extra flavor to it, a little extra spice.
for
So,
sure, for
oh yeah,
sure.
yep, really good. So, it would have been nice if we had more time there, but I understand. And you only had a certain amount of time, and that's the way it is. But I'm glad we had the time together. That was excellent.
I agree. I agree.
Yep.
Um, so what's on the books for Tim? What are you doing next?
Well, actually, I just finished up a one of three Shelby Mustangs. It's a 2015, only had 7,000 miles on it, and it won Mustang Week for the Shelby division. And I just completely I'd get the old ceramic off. It's been on for several years. Still a little bit was left on it, so I had to grind that down. I used Papa Cut version 2 on that, and I did a three plus step correction on that, and then I put Chronos on top of it.
Yeah.
And so okay, so this is a 50 milliliter bottle of Chronos,
Right.
and I don't know if you can see how much is gone.
Yeah.
That is from it being filled to where that level is. I did the entire 23 Mustang GT non-convertible with just that much product.
Wow.
So it goes a long ways. So that's going to be a show car that's going to be in the arena for Mustang Week. But as far as vehicles coming up, I've got a Mercedes coming up that I'm going to be doing. And I got another Mustang that I'm going to be doing, and I'm part of the Coastal Carolina Mustang Club, and we'll probably be doing a couple more for them as well. Did that Green Bullet Mustang. That was fun. So, yeah, there's always something coming up. Today I did not have a car, so I took my pressure washer out and I cleaned the siding. Because down in the south, you got so much humidity and mildew and stuff like that so I did the entire long side of my house.
All right,
So,
hold on one sec. First, I want to say hello to B. Stewart and Chris Ryan. Thanks for coming
oh,
in.
sweet.
Um,
Thanks, you guys.
so your background, if I remember this correctly, your background, you're kind of an engineer, if I remember correctly. And
Yes.
one of the crazy things that I love about you is that you're always tinkering and looking for, looking for a new angle on something and how to maximize something, especially, and as everyone in this room probably already knows, I lean very heavily on you for field data, um, and um, and your feedback and stuff like that. And so, I'm going to highlight. I'm going to highlight a comment here in a second, and it's going to blow the doors off of some people. And I'm hoping that you are able to. I'm hoping that you're able to keep some trade secrets to yourself when I light this up. Are you ready? So let's talk about this.
Can't quite see it on my phone
Oh,
here.
it
I'm waiting
says,
for it to
"Tell
come
us
up.
how you came up with the Furies Kraken combo."
Oh, okay, that one. So I knew Kraken was an absolute incredible cleaner. I've used it anywhere from 10 to 1 down to 1 to 1 with distilled water. And I knew the Furies was an excellent, excellent iron remover. And I thought, I'm always thinking about experimenting. My whole life, experiment and improve all the time. And I thought, well, what if I combine the two together? And I did. And the very first rim I did that on, I put about equal amounts of Kraken pre-mixed, 1 part Kraken to 3 parts distilled water, and sprayed a certain amount on the rim of that, and I sprayed a certain amount of the Furies, both same amounts, onto the rim. Let it dwell for 30 seconds, and I sprayed it off. I didn't have to touch it. It cleaned. It wasn't a very dirty rim, but it was moderately dirty. And it's like, wow, that worked pretty good. Like, okay, so I did the other 3 rims. And I kept doing that. And it kept working. It's like, oh, wow, okay. The real dirty rims, you obviously, you got to come in with, either a soft brush or I'm a little different, but I use a waffle weave microfiber
Okay.
when I clean the rims. And just very light touching, everything came off right away. And I've been doing that for at least a couple months now, if not longer, on essentially every single car I do. And I do quite a few a week. I do anywhere from 3 to 7 cars a week all the time. And every single car has been getting that combo. And it works great. And it's like, okay, I'm going to keep using it. So that's kind of how I came about it. Just, pure experimentation, looking
Sure.
for new ways of doing things.
And so then what you texted me this afternoon about just using the Kraken on the siding of your house, is that accurate?
Yes. I took Kraken at 1 to 3 and I did a small area. And then I took 3 other competitors and did a small area of each, the same amount of pressure, same amount of dwell time. And the Kraken at 1 to 3 cleaned the mildew off my siding better than the other 3 competitors. It's like, well, holy smokes. And that's what I texted you. I said, holy smokes,
Yeah.
Kraken at 1 to 3 is cleaning better than these other ones.
That's awesome.
And one of them is made for cleaning mildew.
Right?
I mean, it's green and it's simple, it's a very simple cleaner, but it's really good. But this did better.
I got some algae that's kind of growing on part of the back deck. I think this weekend I'm going to have to power wash it with some Kraken. See what happens.
Yep. Absolutely.
So speaking of experimentation, Hey, there's a gentleman that is a fan of Phoenix. He does a lot of car shows, and he's always been bugging me for um, a, a paint enhancer without any protection that'll build up and so on and so forth. They just want a true gloss enhancement, and I always direct everybody to you for that. And if you want, let's talk about that. By all means, please.
Oh,
You,
okay.
you got your own little concoction.
Yeah. Yeah, well, sometimes I'm mobile, and sometimes when you're mobile, you're out in the sun. And I'm in South Carolina. There's real high heat and humidity. And when I would do my corrections, I would put on a ceramic sealant at the end. If that's the type of package that they wanted. And if I'm outside when it's hot, even in semi clouds or in the sun, the SiO2 would leave a little bit of streaking. Sometimes it would be like in a shadowy streaking where you can just barely see it, but it's there, or excessive streaking. And it's like, you can't get away from this. It's like I tried several different products and I kept getting streaking in the sun and in the heat. Again, sometimes you have no choice if that's the situation. So it's like, oh my gosh, being a development engineer, it's like, do I got to develop something that actually is the last step that is completely clean, clear, crisp shine, no matter what, and then that's it.
Right.
So I just did some experimenting, and about 3 years or so ago, I came up with Tim's High Gloss Detailer, and it can be 95 or 100 degrees, full sun, middle of the day, black paint, and you just mist it on and wipe it off with a clean microfiber. Nothing. Perfectly clear every single time. And that's where if you were to put your hand on the paint, you're just like, whoa, geez, you almost fry your hand. The paint's up around 170, 180 degrees.
Sure.
Put it on, no problem.
The paint is always going to be hotter than ambient temperature. It's always going to be colder than ambient temperature. And that's, always something that, especially the mobile guys, have to keep that in mind. That, you just can't look at your Apple Watch and be like, oh, it's 87 degrees outside, I'll be fine. Because if that paint's been sitting in the sun, it's going to be a lot hotter than 87 degrees.
Yeah. And, the neat thing about it is you can dilute it way down to 256 parts water to 1 part of this and use it as a waterless wash. You can dilute it anywhere in between. Glass cleaner, it's great glass cleaner. Inside of windshields, it gets, inside of windshields get foggy and, kind of icky. Mm-hmm. Just a fine mist, put that on there. Nice crystal clear. Clay lube, waterless wash. Actually, I did a waterless wash on that 78 Mercedes yesterday with Tim's High Gloss Detailer, because I didn't want it. The seals were cracked and all that stuff. So that's what I did, and it worked great.
This guy even Cash tried to make it streak, and he couldn't get it to do it. He tried to make it streak.
Yeah, I got a guy in Texas that he said even the Texas heat in the middle of the summer couldn't break it.
All right. How do you feel about giving one of those bottles away?
Well, actually, I would like to give 2 bottles away.
2 bottles away. All right. So the first person to tell me. So obviously Tim is not from South Carolina. The first person to tell me where Tim retired from gets the first bottle. And go.
Let's see.
That's right. Matt, you definitely need it in Phoenix. Are you kidding me? And again, it doesn't have any protection. It's a high gloss. It's designed the way that I have it pictured in my mind. And Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's perfect for my friend Jamie, who does a lot of car shows, has a lot of judges coming around all the time. You want to make sure that the car looks absolutely spectacular before the judge walks past your car. Spray it on, wipe it off, and it just shines like the sun.
That is correct. Yep.
Is this?
Yep.
I
Glass. It does have a tiny bit of protection in it. Not very much.
think. Okay. I
It's
believe we have a winner.
we have a winner. Actually,
No.
Mr. Tim. Yeah. Actually, he ordered a bottle.
Oh, you're disqualified,
So,
Tim. You
is he disqualified? Or do we
Hawaii
send him
Tim,
another
you're
bottle?
disqualified. If you have a bottle already, that's not fair. We're trying to get the rest of the class in on this. No, it's up to you. It's up to you, Titan
Either
Tim,
way.
if you want to double up his order.
What I'll do is I'll send one bottle to Tim. I
Uh-huh.
already have the address, and we'll send another bottle to someone else.
All right. Well, now it's your turn to come up with a question because I'm out.
So, oh, okay.
Unless you want to pace yourself, we could do. We could, we're at mile marker 45 minutes. So if you want to wait to give out another one later,
10 minutes.
all right. We'll wait. We'll wait 10 minutes. Be ready.
Yep.
Be ready because he's coming on with another one.
Yep. We're gonna come out with another one. It's gonna be a good one too. I've actually maybe mentioned
You've
it
been thinking
once or
about it all
twice,
day?
but yes.
I told her I was teasing while we were backstage. I was teasing the crowd. I was like, never do a live stream with an engineer. So he always overthinks everything, but it's a great quality to have.
Yep. So how about let's see. Newer paints.
Yeah. Well, before we get into newer paints, let me rewind this, and I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to ask about you particularly. Given your background and given all the things that you've done in your life, what made you want to get into detailing?
Well, I've been detailing since in the 1970s.
Oh.
And back then there was just the turtle.
Yeah.
And that was it. And you go to the store and you get the wax, but then you would see like rubbing compound and polishing compound. It's like, what's the difference? So I bought a tin of each, and figured it out myself because there was nothing. You figure out everything yourself, and I would have the shiniest 1972 Cutlass Supreme 442 there was around anywhere,
Right.
So, yeah, I've been watched my dad doing it, helping him, and professional level, I guess I've been doing it since like 1999-ish in that area. Company-wise, I've had my company for several years, but I do it all the time, do my neighbors, friends, family, stuff like that. And back in like 2000 or 2001, I would have a black GMC pickup. And it's like I wanted it to look really super black. So I would buy like 8 different polishes and waxes, and I would go on one side of the bed of my black truck, and I would put all of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, along the side of the bed. And I'd use, different towels, and I'd use the same wiping pressure, same amount of wiping and all this stuff. And I would take an intense light, and I would look and see which one was the blackest. And it's like, that one. So that's the one I would use. And I would just give away the other ones.
And
I would have
this is exactly the reason why I give you usually like one of the first batches of something that I'm experimenting with. You get it first for that exact the meticulous. Yeah, exactly. Stop. See, now you're gonna get everybody all worked up, and then they're all gonna be like, "What's that? And when is that coming out?" No, 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 no. Come on, man. I have like 19 pokers in the fire at any given time. And now you're gonna kick that hornet's nest. Now people are gonna be like, "Well, I don't want to buy until I know when that's coming out."
No, that's down the road. That has a while yet.
Way down the road.
That's way down the road. Yep. So yeah. So I've been doing this stuff my whole life. I did that in my engineering career. I helped develop the process for the first integrated circuit for the very first laptop.
Wow.
So those went in the very first laptop. This went into like F-14s and Wild Weasel aircraft. guidance systems.
You had mentioned something to me earlier, right before we went live, that you have helped somebody in the Phoenix family directly. You want to talk about that?
Well, not directly, but so I went from military electronics engineering to medical device engineering. And my former director came down and met with me, and he said, Tim, we need somebody to develop the world's first adaptive rate implantable pacemaker. And we said, okay. He goes, I know you know how to do this. It's like, all right. Come up and interview. I was like, okay. So I went up to, it was part of Eli Lilly. It was called Cardiac Pacemakers Incorporated. So I went up there and interviewed. They hired me. And my first responsibility was to bring a pacemaker from a set beats per minute by the EP to adapt to the movement of your body. So if you're more sedentary, it would lower down to, whatever was set, 60, 70 beats per minute. And if you start moving around more, it would increase your heart rate for you. And if you start running or doing something more exerting, it would increase your heart rate more. It's called an accelerometer. So those were just barely developed, and they really wanted that. They wanted to be the first company in the world to have the very first adaptive rate pacemaker. So I went up there and purchased some computer chip equipment and stuff like that, and surface mount technology and very precise dispensing technology. And I know we talked about it a little bit, but so this, I got it tested. I did all the statistical analysis, wrote up the report for the FDA, submitted it to the FDA. They approved it. And actually, this is the very first, world's first adaptive rate pacemaker.
Wow.
And it's titanium can, so it doesn't have a header on it. But the battery is over here, and it's welded. So the titanium, it's a titanium can because the titanium is compatible with the body fluids. It's about one of the very few or only metals that it is. And you can see some of the circuitry over there, and that's the battery. That's the surface mount technology. So I ran all the robotics, did all the programming for that.
That's incredible. That is incredible. Mm-hmm. You're a hero, man. Like, yeah. I know that's you're going to be your reaction is going to be like, nah. Look, incredible. Wow, yeah. I had no idea. I mean, I knew that you were kind of a badass. I had no idea you were that much of a badass.
Yeah. It was quite an honor. I mean,
having you on this show is quite an honor. Oh my gosh.
Wow. You don't always get a chance to make a big difference, for people in your life. Not everyone gets the opportunity. So I had the opportunity. So I went ahead and went for it and got laser focused, like Brian at Apex, and just kept experimenting, kept improving. A lot of statistical methodologies you can use, like design of experiments, and there's Six Sigma, lean process excellence, and all this stuff, and just used all that, and it worked. And it's like, oh wow, okay. So yeah, and just went on to
Timothy.
What?
You're being spied on.
Oh, Chrissy's there. She just popped in. Cool.
Dee Dee, we were just talking about you. Boop, 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 boop,
yeah.
boop, boop. Hey,
so yeah, it was, we would have quality week every year, and patients would come in and they would tell their stories of how you've saved their life or improved their life or whatever. And it's just like a tearjerker all week, And so, yeah, it was, really an honor to be able to save, I don't know.
Yeah, countless.
Well over 100,000 people's
Countless,
lives.
exactly.
It's way more than that, but then went on to develop. This is an implantable defibrillator with a pacemaker.
Wow. Hey, Keith Firebird wants to know how long that battery lasted in that in your other defibrillator.
Well, in the pacemakers, they last 7 to 10 years. Defibrillators has a bigger battery in it, so around the same time frame. So, yeah.
Wow.
Worked in the battery lab for a while, less than 1% humidity. If the humidity gets to 1%, all the alarms go off, and you got to put everything into a nitrogen dry box and all that stuff. And wait till you get the humidity under 1% in the clean room and go back at it.
Good grief.
So, yeah, it was way more than that, but yeah, it's wild stuff. So.
I kind of feel. Kind of feel intimidated being in the same room as you now.
No, don't be.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just a regular guy. That's all.
I got to have all you can eat crab at this guy, everybody. Like this guy right here. Wow.
Yeah. 32 years of that, and I retired from that. Nobody lasts 20, 25 years in that industry because it's so stressful. Because everything you do is life and death.
Yeah.
Everything. Every decision you make, every marginal device, if it has like what could be a defect, you have to evaluate it, and you have to sit down with a quality engineer as a manufacturing development engineer, and you have to evaluate, okay, is that just cosmetic defect, or could that propagate? If it propagates, it could cause a problem in a device. If you do your testing and any doubt whatsoever, scrap it.
You don't have to answer this question, and I can completely understand if you don't feel comfortable answering this question. But was there ever a chance or a time in your career where basically, how do I phrase this? I watch a lot of movies. All right. I spent a lot of time by myself as a child. So, television and movies were basically my go-tos. Was there ever a time when, say, for lack of a better term, Big Farm ever was just like, just do it anyway? Like, oh, the data doesn't support, just do it.
No, I had no interaction with, any marketers or salespeople or any other companies. No,
No. A lot of superhero movies with, like, for example, Venom, the last movie or the first Venom movie, where it was just like, we got to break some eggs to make an omelet. So Tim, just do it. It might not work all the time, but as long as it works 86% of the time, we're okay with the casualties.
Nope.
All right.
Not at all. No way.
Ryan Mulhern, there's the GOAT from the Southern
Ryan.
Detailers Conference. Look at that guy. There's
nice
a trooper. It was good to meet you, sir. It was great.
Ryan
great meeting
and Jay-Z, yep. He was there as well. So.
Yep. We said hi to him earlier.
Yep.
I got a great picture with him. Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Anyway, Tim, that's really remarkable. Your trajectory is absolutely incredible, which now completely makes sense of why the work that you do, the details that you do, are just absolutely incredible. And your work is flawless. And I don't think there's anybody else in this room or in say one of Papa Smurf's rooms where there's a heck of a lot more people that can say that they've worked on Carroll Shelby Jr.'s Shelby GT. There's nobody else that I know of that can say that they've done that. Tell us about that. What was that like? What was that like meeting a living legend?
So I met Gary Patterson. He's the he runs Shelby American, So I haven't met Carroll Shelby himself. He's obviously passed away, but Gary
Right.
Patterson took over. Death grip of a handshake. I mean, I got a strong handshake. He's got a really strong handshake. Humble person, wonderful person. He actually has a bottle of Tim's High Gloss Detailer, and the guy that runs Carroll Shelby Racing, they actually liked it so much they put it on their race car before the race 2 years ago, and they won the race. And you can look on my Google reviews. He left a really nice review, and he said, "Well, we won the race, because my car was so slippery in the wind, And it's like, nah, it had nothing to do with it, obviously." But they love the stuff, and car dealerships use it. I sell it by the gallon or quart or pint. My neighbors buy it. They use it in their bathroom mirrors, their house windows. Other detailers locally here buy it by the gallon.
Would you consider yourself to be a car guy?
Absolutely.
All right.
All my life. All my life.
Do you experience what is that? The celebrity shock, or I forget what the name of that the terminology is called. Like basically where you meet a celebrity and you just kind of become,
You treat everybody the same.
Wow, that's awesome. I met Roger Waters once from Pink Floyd, and I mean, I was so lame. You know what I mean? Like I've been following him for forever, and I finally got a chance to meet him backstage, and I just became a complete doofus. And as soon as I started talking, he was just like, "All right, well, I got to go to New York, so we're leaving. Bye." And I was just like, "Why did I say any of those things? I am so stupid."
I got to do an authentic Shelby Cobra. And
yeah,
it was authentic. And
I know. You sent me pictures of it.
Yeah, it's $500,000 car, and it's like I just
which is why I can't believe you don't freak out. Like that's amazing that you're like, it's just another guy, just another car.
Well, not another car, but it's like, okay, it's
starstruck. Exactly, that's
still
the word.
Base coat, clear coat. It's like, okay, it's got more curves, so you got to use different pads and stuff like that. But yeah, I do all types of cars. It can be $1,000 car or $500,000 car, just whatever. So yeah, it's fun. Do we want to do this?
I don't know what to do with my hands. What?
Do we want to do the second giveaway soon?
Yeah, let's do it. Second giveaway.
Another bottle of Tim's High Gloss Detailer.
Yes, sir. Okay, yes, sir.
So kind of gave it away. I shouldn't have said anything. But I want to know what specific year I started detailing. What was the year?
I'm going to try to win this.
All
right, I got a 73, a 77, a 70. 72.
No.
72.
Nope.
71.
Nope. 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 Nope.
72, 72, 79, 77, 6,
First from Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah, buddy. That's going to cost you.
How much is it going to spend? How much is it going to cost to send this to Puerto Rico?
Exactly.
I have no idea.
Exactly. Well, the United States Postal Service is usually pretty friendly. UPS they'll kill you. But if you send it USPS, it shouldn't cost. But it's pretty normal. It's usually.
Yep, Humberto will have to send me his mailing address. Just send me an Instagram message.
What's your email address?
It's shineyourlightsc@gmail.com.
All right. And I'm gonna put that down there.
All right, Humberto.
It should work. Where are you?
And it's hot and humid down there, so it'll be a big test.
Shining Light SC at
Gamble.
Gamble. At Gamble. At Gamble.com. Because I don't know how to spell.
And then later, everyone that's watching, stick around because I am going to reveal the process of how to turn black into what looks like black chrome.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yes, it's a certain process.
Well, we have officially hit the hour and 5-minute mark, so I don't know how much longer you want to go. I will tell you right now that I'm not going to go over 4 hours because
I ain't either.
I'm saving that spot for Eric. I mean, I could go for 4 hours. I've got plenty of apple juice.
Okay.
But I think it would be disrespectful to my my brother from another mother if I went over 4 hours without him. He'd have to join. If we were going to go 4 hours, he has to join us.
I would like to know what questions people in the chat have.
All right, the floor is open to Tim from Shining Light Detailing, former engineer saving lives with defibrillators and whatnot, and now killing the detailing industry. The floor is open. The phone lines are open if anybody wants to get in on it right now.
Yes. Not the black chrome question. That will be answered in a little bit here.
I do not need more apple juice. Nope. The good news is I had there's a local car show that was happening right down the street here, and so that's why I'm not in the warehouse. I'm here in the original Phoenix headquarters.
Yep. Clearview Solutions, MS. What do you enjoy about detailing? I enjoy the massive transformation. I like to take something that looks like there's almost no hope and make it come alive. That's what I like to do. Everything in between, of course, even if it's a small change, and protect it from the elements, that obviously matters as well. But transformation, that's what I like. It's, you're looking at a vehicle, it's like, oh, this is terrible. And then all of a sudden, wow.
There's a lot of questions piling up, and I want to get to them, but I definitely want to touch on a conversation that I've had with Phil from Miranda in regards to what you just said. I think it was the video that Miranda was reviewing Glossum for the first time, the Glossum wax. He had said that when he is detailing a car, he's about to detail a car, and he's going around the car, and he's going over everything with the customer. When he is after the customer and he has agreed on a price and what the customer wants done to the vehicle, often it's Phil's instinct to make it as good as it can possibly be. Like he's right. Like, what I want to do is I want to make it a masterpiece every time.
Right.
But that's not what we agreed on, and that's not what the customer's paying for. So so basically my pushback against what you just said is, how do you, as someone who enjoys that experience, enjoys that transformation, like for me, I love cooking, and I love other people. Like, I don't cook for myself, I cook for other people because I want them to eat it and enjoy it and love it. And, and then that's where I get my satisfaction out of how much they're enjoying the work that I've done. And I would imagine for someone like you, that's a reward in and of itself, is how much they love what you've done to their vehicle and that transformation. So I guess my question to you is, do you have the ability to pull back? Like, if that's not what they're paying for, or do you just go, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway because it just needs the love?
Almost always what I do is I have a very thorough conversation with the customer, and I'll mention to them, I can do it at several different levels. I need to understand what you would like out of your vehicle. So I'll give them an example where I'm getting 50 to 70% of the defects out, or another example where I'm getting 80 to 90, or another example where I'm getting hopefully up to 95 plus. And then I give them the price for each of those, and then they can decide which level they like. If they're a little bit confused or a little bit wondering or whatever, I've got pictures on my phone, so I'll show them very close-up pictures, where you have like a 50-50, or you got how the vehicle originally was, to the 50 to 70% level, to the 90, to the 95, and I'll let them know how much time it's going to take. If it's 95 plus, it could be 2-3 days worth of work, and that's more money, obviously. So you got to figure out what their budget is without, I never want to push anybody. I want to figure out what they want, and then I'll do that. And then there's part of your question is, I always do a little bit more, but not a lot more, except for 1 or 2 times. There was a black Mustang a few months ago that was really bad. In fact, I got to do a YouTube video on it. And I just had this feeling to take it to another level. The paint was there. Everything was there to take it to ultra high level. I had the time. I had the gumption, had the desire, but I just had a feeling that something good is going to come from this if I just go ballistic with it. And I did. Come to find out, the young gentleman was part of a Mustang club locally. I had no idea before that. And the president of the Mustang club and the vice president saw the car, and they just about dropped their jaw. And I got several other paint corrections and ceramic coatings from doing that for that one young gentleman. I can't explain what that is, but I just had a feeling to do that, and I did, and it paid benefits. It reaped a lot of rewards. So it's tough to know where to stop, but I try to monitor that pretty well, with a couple exceptions.
You've had a lot of experience with the Papa Cut.
Yep.
Can I use the Papa Cut in chrome or gold?
On chrome?
Or gold.
Gold. I've never polished gold. Chrome, I would lean more towards fabulous finishing polish, or more chrome polish. I think the Papa Cut would be a little bit too strong for the chrome, and it would leave it hazy.
I agree.
And you don't 100% want that?
Agree. I would go low and slow with fab polish and a softer pad for sure.
Correct. Yep.
Nacho Definitely. Man's in the house. Boom.
Nacho Man. Wow.
I don't know how this would work out, but apparently one of the questions on the board is, are you taking apprenticeships? Only if they're willing to relocate, correct?
That is correct. Come to the area and we'll talk.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you have
sure.
Your answer?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not hiding anything. There's a couple of local detailers. One's is Houston's Shine, Andrew Houston. Great guy. He used to be a firefighter, and I used to be a fire chief in that. I used to be a city council member, so we kind of had that in common. But we trade different techniques and stuff like that, and he buys my high gloss detailer and uses that on pretty much every car he does. And he's doing 1 to 3 cars every single day, him and his team. And my detailing spray goes on essentially every car they do. So yeah, if somebody were to come here, nothing to hide whatsoever. That's another good thing about being around other professional detailers, the Four Horsemen, all that stuff, or other professionals around the area. You've got to have the attitude of not being, tight with your knowledge, or it's like, no, I don't want any other detailers around me. I want to do the detailing for the area. Well, guess what? You got to keep reminding yourself that there's more than enough cars.
100%.
There's
100%.
more than enough cars to go around. So
I
anybody
was
that
having
wants
this
to learn
very
anything,
conversation today, and it was, we were talking about the Phoenix family and the brotherhood and everything that's gone into building this company, and the fact that Brian from Apex, he sells my product line on his website, and he has his own product line, and several of the products are directly in competition with each other.
mm-hmm.
And and the question was, well, why would you do that for me? Like you were 100% putting your competition on your website. Why would you do that? And he said, there's more than enough to go around, and I'm
Correct.
here to help, and I'm here to help you.
Correct. Yeah, I'm an authorized Phoenix E.O.D distributor.
Yes, you are, and a certified installer
of Kronos.
Of Kronos, that's right.
Yeah, I sell Titan on my website, shinyyourlightdetailing.com. I sell Glossum Wax on my website, and I also sell Apex Auto Wash on my website. And it's I don't sell any of the compounds. I guess if I had them, I would put on my website. But people come to me for the compound and polishing work, and they a lot of times they'll ask, well, what do I do with my vehicle now to keep it this shiny? So I'll sell them a bottle of Titan or Glossum. How do I wash my car now? Well, I'll sell them a bottle of Apex Auto Wash, and let them know to use just a very small amount, 2-bucket method, stuff like that. And I actually sell quite a bit.
Speaking of the 2-bucket method, when it comes to like mobile detailing, and that's primarily your bread and butter, I think that's kind of what you're known for. How do you feel? Like how do you manage being a mobile detailer? How do you manage? Tell us your secrets, Tim. Tell us everything. What's your process?
Well, I've got a shop here. I got an HVAC unit in my shop, so I do a lot of vehicles here. Or I do a mobile. And what's my process?
Roberto Ramirez just says hello, Tim. By the way, didn't mean to interrupt you, but that was a direct shout out to you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Go ahead.
Roberto Ramirez. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. How do I manage? I don't have a big van. I put everything. Here we go. I put everything in my Mustang.
I'm writing this all down, by the way.
Everything goes in my Mustang. Everything.
What?
Yes. The pressure washer fits right between the front. I'm serious. Everything goes in my Mustang.
The same Mustang that I saw at dinner.
Everything.
That thing is gorgeous. Like, how is that your daily driver, beater up utility vehicle? That is insanity. The thing is gorgeous, Tim.
If I know I need a pressure washer, it goes between the seat and the glove compartment. Fits perfectly. Nothing is scratched. If I don't need a pressure washer, that's where I put my small vacuum. I put everything in totes in the back. If I need a small step ladder, it goes behind the 2 seats. Everything fits in the Mustang. I put all my polishers in the trunk on the floor off to the left. I put all my pads in bags off to the right. I got my detailing towels here, and I got my tote of all my products. Everything
You truly are a mad scientist. It's official. It is official. You have earned the title of mad scientist. That's crazy. My God.
I don't need no big van.
What?
I don't need a big van. I don't need.
Apparently not.
In all the years I've done this, I've never had anybody question me hooking up to their water. Not one single time. Never had anybody question me hook up to their electricity, ever. No one said a word. Just hook up, do it. No problem.
Nacho Man, you might be short, but you got the biggest heart we know. Faux show.
Should we? Okay, so Humberto calls me Mr. Concoction.
Yeah.
And Mr. Cash said, mix it up, Tim.
Mix it up, Tim.
So I do a lot of mixing of products.
No kidding.
A lot. I'll put 2 or 3 different products on it, like a Euro 50/50. I'll put on Papa Cut and Fabulous Finishing Polish on the same pad all the time, like almost every single time. Or if it doesn't need much, I'll put Papa Cut and Glossum on the same pad and just do fine polishing and the sealant at the same time, and then top it with Titan. I do this stuff constantly. It's literally, it's just what I do.
Well, I'm 100% grateful to you. Again, I don't want to beat that dead horse, but I mean, sending you product for review and feedback, and then of course when you do your own experimentation and then you send it to me, you're like, hey, I just did this with this, and I just did that with that, and I'm like, I never even thought about doing that. Huh. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole Clash of the Titans, the Kraken Furies team up, that's truly amazing. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to put that magic in a bottle.
Yeah, I just did again, I didn't have my tripod with me. I really didn't have a whole lot of time, but I just took a picture of the rim before, picture of Clash of the Titans on the rim with all the dirt going off and pooling down on the driveway, and then a picture of it with it complete and nice and clean. And I just did a little reel that's on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube on Shine Your Light Detailing. It's just a real quick 15-second video. It's nothing special. It's just 3 pictures.
It's very special. It's a matter of fact, like anytime that you bring knowledge to the masses, it's very special. Yeah. Nacho Man, I don't know if he mixed. Did you mix Hydra with the Kraken or just the Furies with the Kraken?
Just Furies with Kraken.
Just Furies. Yeah, I didn't think that you had dabbled with the Hydra too much with as far as mixing it with other stuff. Now, I am currently working on a product with Miranda that involves Hydra and some other stuff, which is going to be exciting. Hopefully I can crack that code. Yep. I might have to drive down to South Carolina and have you help me, Mr. Engineer.
Sure, no problem. We got Clearview Solutions in here. It says 6 Sigma at work, so apparently he knows what 6 Sigma is.
What is it? A splinter cell? Like secret? I'm pretty sure I played 6 Sigma, Tom Clancy's 6 Sigma for years while I was on the ambulance.
Yeah, I'm certified at that, so I've got my black belt in 6 Sigma. It's a process. It's a process of developing processes, process of making a car look amazing. Anything. It's a methodology. So it's like define, measure, analyze, improve, control. It's a DMAIC methodology. You can apply it to anything, really. So
for those of, I mean, I don't know if you're able to explain it, but for those of us that don't know, what is Sigma 6 or 6 Sigma? What is that? is that a club? Is it just shy of the Illuminati?
It's
Like, oh, hey,
it's
we're
a
Six Sigma, but we're not quite
it's
Illuminati just yet.
yeah, it's it's a methodology of developing a process or improving a process. If you follow it exactly, it takes a long time. I just cut to the chase. I just get going on, the meat and the potatoes of developing a process. And it applies to, grinding on paint too. It,
And mildew on your on the siding
yeah,
of your car. Yeah.
exactly. Or computer chips. I
Or
mean,
computer chips or
yeah,
defibrillators or
it's literally anything. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So,
that's incredible.
I mean, boring to a lot of people, but cool to me. So, but I'm weird.
I don't believe that for a second. I mean, I would like to say I've spent considerable time with you last year, this year, on the phone. I don't think that you're weird. I think that you're extremely thought out, and that does not make you weird. That makes you invaluable, in my humble
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. We got Humberto says I do ISO 2000. Well, actually, you should be doing ISO 2001, but
Burn.
that's okay, Humberto.
First of all, Humberto doesn't do any of those things because all he does is send me Instagram reels all day long.
I
I
know.
texted him. I was like, "Hey man,
So
do
many.
you ever work?" He was just like, "Well, I'm doing I'm multitasking." He's running diagnostics, and while the diagnostics are running, that's when he just starts hitting me with reels, and I'm just like, "Man, I can't keep up. I can't
Yep.
keep up."
So
We're
what other
approaching.
questions do we have in here? I think we may have missed a couple.
You think so?
I'm not sure.
They
I'm
were talking.
scrolling back here. See if there was some other
I've been
questions. Should we get
pretty.
into the black chrome? How to make black chrome since
Yeah,
we're
go for
getting
it.
all technical.
Go for it. I love
Okay. So to make black chrome, obviously you have to have black paint, like triple black paint, not black paint that's got speckles in it and stuff like that. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to have a vehicle that's got paint that has plenty of clear coat. Okay, you measure it. You ask the owner, has anybody grinded on it before? If they have, forget it. Don't do it. On a newer vehicle, you got to be careful because the clear coat's too thin. But what you need to do is, obviously, and everybody knows this here, wash it properly, do your decontamination, with your clay and chemical decontamination. But most important step, the first step is you need to level the paint. Okay, the flatter you get clear coat, the more reflective it's going to be. So you need to make sure that it's as flat as possible. And to do that, you should, again, preface, you have to have enough clear coat to do this, but use a wool pad similar to this. This one's a Rupes DA coarse wool pad. And you're going to take Papa Cut or another, make sure it's a real quality, strong cutting compound, and you're going to level the paint. Again, preface, you have to have enough clear coat or don't do it. You're going to level the paint and it's going to look dull. It's going to look kind of out of focus, cloudy, hazy. You're going to see like fine little tick marks in it. That's because of the wool interacting with the clear coat at a very strong level. You're going to push down, not too hard. You're not going to stall the motor, obviously, but you're going to flatten the paint as best as possible. And a microfiber is not strong enough to do that. Okay, you have to start out with wool again if the paint is there. Okay, so you do your compounding, you wipe it off, you do your inspection. Okay, at that point, you can use like a Euro 50/50 and another moderate compound. You can use Papa Cut. Just don't push down as hard on your polisher. It will cut less. The more you push down on the polisher, the more cutting will occur. So you're doing a second step like that. It's still going to look, it's going to look really, really good, but it's not going to look perfect. So you wipe that off, and then after that, you're going to take fabulous finishing polish or a jeweling polish, and you're going to take a fine foam pad, and you're going, why is this green? Well, it was yellow, but when you wash a yellow pad with brand new blue microfiber towels, it turns green.
Whoops.
Hey, it's just a color. So they were all brand new at the same time. So then you're going to do a fine polish that way, and you're going to slow down the speed of your buffer. If you use a slower speed, you're going to get more of a reflective shine, more gloss than if you use a real high speed. Run your buffer at 5 or 6 and a finishing polish, you won't get ultra high gloss. Run it at 2.5 or 2 in that area, you'll get ultra high gloss. Inspect your paint. Are you getting that, oh my gosh, this thing is immaculately reflective, or are you not? If you are, stop there at the third step. If you're not, you're going to want to use a CarPro gloss pad. And this is very, very soft. I mean, it's got a very sturdy backing to it, but it's extremely soft. And you're going to want to do a third or fourth step with this gloss pad and a jeweling polish. And then you're going to wipe it off. And then you're going to go ahead and do your isopropyl alcohol and distilled water mix. And then you put on either Immortal or Chronos, one or the other.
Okay.
And, do the normal process steps for that. And you will get black that like you've never seen black before. And that is how you make what I call black chrome.
That's amazing. It seems pretty labor intensive though.
It is.
So the question is, what is the black chrome package run you?
Say a Mustang, non-convertible Mustang, probably about 350, 400 in that area.
What?
Again, I'm in South Carolina. Could be a little bit more.
It should be a little bit more. That is crazy. You went around that car 5 times.
4 or 3. I'm in South Carolina. Things are much less expensive in South Carolina than it is other areas.
This is true.
That's a moderately small car. If it's a large car SUV, that's going to be more, obviously. So, yeah. I know it's different. It is. It's completely different economy here. Things are a lot cheaper.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously your business better than I do, for sure.
Yeah.
I just I just get protective of my people, and I just want to make sure that people, people that are getting the best need to be prepared to pay for the best.
Right, but a lot of people don't want to.
I know they don't want to, but it's funny. I was listening to one of those motivational guys yesterday, and it was basically they're talking about a plumber, and you have a plumbing issue, and you call 3 different plumbers, and they come in and they charge you, $100 an hour, and they're there for 2 hours, and they don't fix the problem, and then you finally call like the big dog on the block. And he comes in and he fixes the problem in 20 minutes. Done.
Right.
Done. Fixes it perfectly. And he charges you a lot of money. And they're like, what are you charging me all this money for? You were only here for 20 minutes. And he was just like, yeah, that's because you weren't paying attention to the 25 years that it took for me to get to this point where I can fix it, identify the problem, and fix it in 20 minutes. You're paying for the 25 years, not the 20 minutes.
Right. Obviously, that does not include doing a ceramic coating.
Obviously.
So if it's a large car, it's more. If it's an SUV or a pickup truck, it's more. But a small car, yeah, in that general price range.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, and I know it's different around the country. It's definitely different.
For
Some
sure.
other areas would charge $600, $700, $800 for that.
Oh, 100%. Up here in Philadelphia, that is easily an $800 job starting.
Right. And I don't think I would get many cars if I were to charge $800. Not here.
Yeah.
No, I've had those conversations with people I know, and they go, they would never pay it. No way.
Well, hopefully Shelby will put you on the payroll soon, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Right. I don't think so.
All right, so we just crossed over the hour and a half mark.
Okay.
I want to throw this out there. For the first person that can tell me whose phone number that is, gets a bottle of Titan. The first person that can tell me whose phone number that is gets a bottle of Titan. And go. You got 19 people in here. Surely one of you knows whose phone number that is. You got to go back you got to go back to the original Curmudgeon's Corner 1 to know the answer to this one. Boom! Keith Firebird gets a bottle of Titan. Oh boy! Keith Firebird gets a bottle of Titan.
Nice.
Yes, Keith, love you, man.
Great. Cool.
So good.
Yep.
So good.
That smell of that Titan is so good. If I put it on a vehicle and the customer is around, they go, "Wow, that smells good."
Can I make a
you
small,
nailed the smell on
Can
that.
I make a small confession? I spray it around the front entrance of my warehouse. So that's the first smell that you smell when you walk through the door, and you're just like, "That's awesome. What is that?" And you go, "Ma, that's Titan. Get in on it."
Now you're going to get Papa Smurf to do that now, you know.
Right?
I wonder if he's going to start doing that. I miss you guys. You know what? I mean, you and the Four Horsemen and, you know, Cat Guy and everybody that was there. I mean, Tim and, oh my gosh, you know, it's like we had so much fun. And I miss that. I'm looking forward to the next get together, and I think it's going to be what, Mobile Expo or something.
Yeah, Mobile Expo. It's in January, and it's in Orlando, Florida, which is definitely not centralized to everybody. Some of the horsemen have already shown interest in going. I know, you know. I haven't talked to Phil about it yet. I'm sure that he'd probably want to go. My concerns are it's run by the same organization that ran SDC. Now this one is definitely a lot more well known. A lot of the bigger guns, from what I understand, like Griot's Garage shows up there. You know, I've never done it before, so I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I want to, you know, load down my truck again and put it through that for another unknown. But for the experience, the content that we got, you know, we were live streaming, we were, you know, taking tons of pictures and selfies with fans and things of that nature. So that was a lot of fun. So the experience was incredible. The content was incredible. You have to kind of balance that out. Was the juice worth the squeeze? I think in this particular situation, especially since it was the first time that everybody got to meet, it was the first time that the Four Horsemen were together. You know, we clearly, Tim, you and I and the other guy, like we clearly, Mark, all those guys, we like when we went to dinner together Saturday night, that was just so much fun. I mean, it was epic. And being able to, there's this weird little strip. It's called. Well, you were there because you obviously went to the Brazilian steakhouse, but it's called Fourth Street Live, and they
Mhm.
basically just shut down two city blocks of Fourth Street, and it's got live music and the ice cream parlor and all these different restaurants and pubs and things of that nature. And it's a lot of fun. And on Friday, I don't think that you had gotten there yet, but on Friday, Fab Family and Papa Smurf and we all went out and got to do. We were drinking and eating and just enjoying the experience of just that fellowship, that much needed fellowship of the family that we are. Um, that would be the only reason why I would consider doing mobile tech in
Right.
Orlando, is to recreate that experience. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, you have to analyze, is the juice worth the squeeze to recreate that? You know,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely something that I have to. I definitely am going to be thinking hard on the next couple of months on whether or not we're going to put that into the capital budget or not. Because I mean, it was an expense. It was a
Right.
healthy expense. Um, a cologne that smells like Titan. It's funny. When we were, we're actually approaching the 2-year anniversary of Phoenix EOD.
Oh wow.
We basically like to say that we were born on the 4th of July, unlike other great things that were born on the 4th of July. Phoenix likes to pride themselves on being born on the 4th of July. Um,
Mhm.
when we were creating Titan, I think we sold our first bottle of Titan in August of that year. And we were going through, I did a Google search, and I was just like, what scent do men find most appealing? That's what I typed into the Google search,
Hmm.
because
Interesting.
I'm just trying to like use data, like you, Tim, just trying to use data to capitalize in every aspect, to make it as appealing as I possibly can, because Titan had to be a winner.
Hmm.
Um, it was our first product, it's our flagship product, and if we got it wrong, nobody else is good. You're not going to try anything else in the product line. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just like, oh, this stuff is trash. Phoenix is trash. Goodbye, good riddance. So we had to come out of the gate really, really, really strong,
Hmm.
and it had to be, uh, what I consider to be the best of the best.
Yep.
Um, and if you look at the data to support it from the different influencers out there, um, we came pretty close, if not on it. I mean, Pan the organizer, he ranks at number one.
Yep.
Forensics detail, he ranks at number one. Nacho Man, he says it's number one. So if Nacho Man says it's number one, or else he'll come
Yep.
beat you. He'll beat you up. He says so.
Yep.
Um,
Well.
anyway, um, it turns out vanilla was the number one scent. Vanilla was the number one scent that men find most appealing, and I can only think of one
Hmm.
reason why that is. It's because that's what desire smells like, or destiny, or any one of the other names that are on stage. That's what they smell like. When we were doing the manufacturing of it, there was we were just coming out of the pandemic. It was 2021, and we couldn't get vanilla scent. We couldn't get the vanilla scent. So number two
Hmm.
on the list was watermelon, and we were like, "All right, run with watermelon." And it turns out, like, talk about you've heard me say it 100 times that this is 100% divine intervention. The Phoenix
Mhm.
Project has been divine intervention from the beginning to the end. Um, I have, I definitely have not had any control over Phoenix, and it has been It has been guided by a higher power for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Vanilla not being available and watermelon just knocked it out of the park. And I look back at it now and I'm like, I don't think that it would be as popular. Vanilla is it's one of my favorite scents, but I don't think it would be as popular or as it, like vanilla kind of it gets old after a while. You know, it kind of it's like, okay, yeah, I get it. You smell like vanilla. It's nice. Blah
Good
blah blah
point.
blah.
Good point.
This I don't ever get tired of smelling Titan. I don't.
Yeah.
It's in my office. It's in the front of the warehouse. You know, we're mixing it all the time. I've got totes of it. Everything smells like Titan, and I don't get tired of it. It's not heavy. It's a very light scent, but it's not like citrusy, which is also a light scent, but can get kind of boring after a while.
That is a great point.
Thank you.
I agree with that 100%. When I'm in full stride on a week, I go through a bottle in 1 week, 1 pint. Unbelievable. This last week I wasn't as busy, so obviously I didn't go through a pint this last week. But when I'm in full stride in the spring, when everybody wants their vehicles done, 1 bottle a week. So yeah, I get to smell it a lot.
Good. Well, I'm glad that you like it. I really am. Thanks. Ryan Hansen, appreciate you showing up. Ryan Hansen, I don't know if you guys remember, but he is the driving force behind the Pay It Forward campaign. Talking with my marketing guy, we're changing the name to Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign. You know, because he says everything has to be tied into Phoenix. So moving forward, this year it'll be the Rise from the Ashes Pay It Forward campaign 2023. Again, Ryan was instrumental in making it happen. He is instrumental in making it happen again this year. Um, we could not do it without him. Fab donated a whole bunch of pads. Um, to round out the total package for the campaign, and we're looking forward to doing it again this year. So
Cool.
I
That'd be
think
awesome.
it's definitely going to be a staple in our in who we are and what we do.
Well, I think everybody's a very giving group. Um, Giving back is important. It really is. And so yesterday, when I did the red Mercedes, 78 Mercedes, it wasn't a hard job at all. So I didn't, charge a ton of money. And for Meals on Wheels of Oregon, Georgetown County in South Carolina, they make meals and pack them and bring them to people that can't get out of their house to get food and stuff like that, or people that are a lot of disabilities or whatever. And I think they give out over 500 meals every single day in the area. Well, some of the people are elderly, some are pass away or whatever, but so a portion of what I do goes to that. And yesterday, I don't really post about it or anything like that, but the radio station did a teddy bear drive. So for $106, you can buy 36 teddy bears, and along with the food, they're given to the elderly and that. So I took $106 out of the money that I got yesterday for doing the Mercedes, and that went to Meals on Wheels of Horry County, and that bought 36 teddy bears. And the radio station, they did a picture, each of us holding a teddy bear and all that. But giving back to the community and being stand-up people and caring people, I think everybody in the group is that way. And
100%.
I appreciate
100%. I know
it.
that for a fact. That is what is truly unique, I think, about this. I mean, like, there's a core group of about 40 people. They show up in every one of the live streams. They show up at and support anything that we do. And there really is a communal family about who we are and what we do. Um, just the support alone. Like there are days, I'm sure that you experience the same thing. There are days sales are slow,
Mhm.
business is slow. Um, you're tired. You've already done a gazillion details. You just don't know if you want, like, do I really need to really, why am I doing what I'm doing? And then and then the family comes together and they're just
Mhm.
like, you can do it, you're doing great, products are awesome, keep it up. You know what I mean? I think half the time that Eric and I talk to Papa Smurf probably an hour every day. He calls
Wow.
me, except on Sundays and Mondays, because apparently I'm not important on Sundays and Mondays, but he calls me on his way into work, and he calls me on his way home from work. And you know, every time it's his, hey, so what's on the agenda for Phoenix? And then, on the way home, it was like, hey, how was Phoenix today? Because I'll tell him I got to do X, Y, and Z, and then he'll call me on his way home and he'll be like, did you accomplish X, Y, and Z? And I'll just be like, I don't know. I'm kind of this, I'm kind of that. I feel despondent. I feel like sometimes it just, what am I doing here? Um, and it's that family that comes together, and it's just like,
Mhm.
dude, you got this. What are you talking about? Like, your numbers are up, and the buzz is there, and people, you're the Phoenix family is growing. So get your head out of your ass and stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's just like, I needed to hear that. All right, I'm sorry, I'm back in the saddle, let's do this. You know what I mean? So
Yep. I'm same way. Every once in a while, I just get, it's like motivation just goes down, and it's like, nope, nope, nope. Come on, Tim, bring it back up again. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
bounce.
and a perfect example of this was the Southern Detailers Convention, which is what this whole live stream was supposed to be about, was a review. We did great as Phoenix booth 115. We did phenomenally.
Mhm.
But like, I was complaining, and I was just like, 100% of 500 people is still shit. Pardon my French. Um, and I, I was missing the picture. I was missing the picture of what was happening, what happened while we were down there. Again, the breaking of bread with old friends, the breaking of bread with family. I kind of missed the picture, and for that I'm kind of ashamed. Um, but sometimes it takes a guy like you, Tim. When we met in South Carolina after the show, to just kind of like remind me of just how great of an experience it was, and all the things that we did while we were there, and the camaraderie that we have.
Right.
It was more of a celebration of that. It was a celebration of camaraderie than it was of being a vendor at some show. And I really needed to have that perspective adjusted, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Every single person is a quality person. Stand up, straightforward. I feel if I needed to talk with you or Eric or whoever, um, if I was struggling with something or whatever, I could pick up the phone and call and have a conversation and pick up my spirits or whatever. And anybody can do that with me as well too at any time. And everybody truly cares about each other, and you don't always run into that. And I appreciate that very much.
100%, 100% in this family, for sure, for sure.
Yep.
And it's honestly, that's the easiest way. It's the easiest thing to point out of why do we do what we do. It's for that very reason. You know what I mean? As Humberto said earlier, it's why we cook for others. It's
Right.
why we cook for others, is to continue to uplift each other.
Yep.
And all right, yeah, count our blessings.
Yep.
That's right, B. Stewart.
Yep. Be
Count
Stewart's
our
in here.
blessings.
Cool.
Yeah, he's been here the whole time.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Great. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, we're approaching the 2 hour mark. I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to be respectful of everybody else that's in here. It's approaching 10 p.m. on the East Coast. It's like what? It's Hawaii Tim's lunch break in Hawaii. But for the rest
Yep.
of us, it's 10 p.m. We should probably start winding this down.
Sure.
Because Papa Smurf's going to get jealous soon,
Yeah,
and
right.
then it's going to be a whole half hour of him squawking tomorrow. You talked to Tim for 2 hours. You only talked to me for one. Anyway,
That's funny.
anybody else got anything? Any parting questions or comments and things of that nature?
What do I
8:50.
hate? What do I hate most about doing a detail?
Where's that?
What can I not stand doing?
Where's that?
That's what I'm asking everybody in here. I mentioned it once or twice.
Oh,
I don't like doing. Somebody's got to know it. I can't stand doing.
Is this another? Is this a trivia question?
Yeah.
All right.
This one doesn't pay any benefits, but what can I not? Oh my gosh, B. Stewart and Nacho Man interiors. I can't stand doing interiors.
That's this is probably going to go down a whole different rabbit hole, but that's interesting that you would say that, because I know the majority of detailers feel the same way, except for Chelsea. Chelsea, from attention to detail, she doesn't mind doing interiors at all. So my question is, what is it about interiors that you guys hate so much?
Give me paint.
Yeah. Well, so as you know, I was involved in a pretty nasty accident many years ago, and when they sent me off to detailing school, the one thing that I learned that I didn't want to be was a detailer, for sure. That's the only thing that I took out of that class.
Well,
I didn't want to be a detailer, and the reason for that is I can't squat down like that, even on those little rolly chairs for any period of time. My knees are so beyond shot. They've both been repaired. I can't squat like that, like you guys do. I mean, that is a true. You guys, it's a workout for you guys. So I would rather do an interior than doing the lower panels on a vehicle, for sure.
Yeah, I just when I do paint, I don't sit on a stool. Nope, I don't. Every once in a while, I'll just I'll kneel, but I usually just bend over and run the buffer real low. So that's what I do. I've got a rolling chair, but I don't use it. Just sits there and collects dust. But interiors, to answer your question, what don't I like about interiors?
I think Ryan Hansen sums it up for you.
Sometimes there could be stains that maybe the customer is expecting to get out, and they may just not be able to get out whatsoever. Then you're creating a disappointment.
Ray always used to say, "Make the stain bigger."
Yeah, right. I don't like disappointing people.
That's what he would say. He would say, "Make the stain bigger." If you got a stain that is really stubborn, he was just like, instead of trying to get the stain out, spread that stain across the entire surface, and that way it blends in, and nobody can see the stain anyway.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's steering wheels that are so disgusting that stuff doesn't come off hardly.
Right.
Just I don't know. I just don't care for it. I just want paint. Okay. I'll do an interior. I did an interior. The little help I had last Saturday on a Toyota SUV. I did the outside and the inside. I did it. It was okay, but I don't care for it. No, right. Just give me paint.
What Ryan said here about I love seeing the exterior transformation. It's more dramatic than the interior. I think that pretty much dovetails into what you had said earlier about what your favorite part about the detail is that transformation. So obviously that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, unless it's trashed, it's hard to really transform an interior.
Right.
I mean, if it's dirty, okay, you can transform it some, but there's that wow factor that, oh my gosh, look at this thing. You know, I mean, it can happen with an interior, yeah, but not to the level of making black chrome, you know. I mean, you can't do that with an interior.
Right.
So,
I mean, unless
yeah.
it's my interior. I don't know if you've seen the Pathfinder, but it is trashed. Oof.
What's the worst favorite paint?
What's the worst favorite paint?
What company? I told you this too. It's Nissan. I least desire do Nissan paint.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get a super glossy. It's if I had to pick a manufacturer, it would be Nissan.
Well, you know,
they make
a very dependable car, Tim. So too bad for you. I'm keeping my Nissan.
Hey, I had a Nissan, yeah.
As a matter of fact, this will come up in a later live stream. But Brian from Apex, probably one of his most favorite vehicles that he's ever owned, that he truly laments getting rid of, is a Nissan Titan. He had a Nissan Titan that was blacked out, and he said, out of all the vehicles that I've gone through and sold, I miss that one the most. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. Tough. So there you go.
Yep. Okay.
I did a Tesla once. It was soft as bubble gum.
Made it back.
She made it back. She's probably going to critique the curtain behind me, or my facial hair, or my hat, or my shirt. She's going to critique something. Whatever. Critiquing all my stuff all the time.
She already critiqued my place.
Did she really?
That's a bay window. Small bay windows. And
yeah. Only one plant behind you, Timothy?
I grew up doing a lot of farming.
So that is going to be my next purchase whenever that comes. I don't know when it's going to come. Probably another 2 years or so. But it's going to be the Titan that Titan bought is how I'm going to market that. And I'm going to I've already talked with Apex, and we're going to get it PPF'd, and we're going to get it vinyl, and we're going to get it ceramic coated, and we're going to do all the fun stuff to it. And it's going to be the Titan that Titan bought. Faux show.
Nice. That would be awesome.
I'm excited about it. I saw a white one today. That was it was pure white, and everything. All of the accessories were black rims, black lettering, tinted out. It looks so sexy, and I'm like, that's it. That's the truck with a big orange Phoenix symbol on. Oh yeah, that's it. That's the one.
That sounds pretty good.
When I close my eyes, that's what I dream of.
Yep.
Dee Dee doesn't agree that she's negative and mean, and she is negative and mean. And I said it there. I said it. Negative and mean, and not very good at trivia. And since I have a microphone and you don't, you will listen to everything I have to say.
So I wonder what Dee Dee is detailing.
Yeah, Dee Dee, what are you detailing these days?
Yeah. Crickets. Oh my gosh.
Is there an emoji for crickets?
Could be.
I'm gonna look.
Only my Pilot, she says.
There it is. Boop, boop, boop.
Honda Pilot. Does she have Phoenix products?
She does. As a matter of fact, she pretty much wins every time we do any kind of contest. She wins. For some strange reason, she seems to have all the cards.
Well, she missed out on Titan, and she missed out on Tim's Eyeglass Detailer, but she has a bottle of this already.
I'm pretty sure she has Apex soap, and I'm pretty sure she has Titan, and I think she might have a Mortal as well. I'm not sure. She's all joking aside and all jesting aside. She has been one of the original Phoenix supporters from the beginning. She's been right on board, and we rib each other a lot, and um, she's a good sport because I can be a pretty salty prick. It's kind of my nature. But yeah, she's a good sport about it, and she's always been very, very supportive, especially when it comes to these kind of shows. She is definitely one of the core people that'll be in every, like, Fab Family Hangout. She's there. Live streaming with Papa Smurf. She's there. Phoenix Curmudgeon's Corner. She's there. Yeah, so she's definitely been a supporter and a good sport because I do give her a hard time, especially because she's terrible at trivia.
She needs to get cracking.
Yeah, she needs to get cracking on the Kraken.
This stuff is underrated. I hope you realize that. I've gotten more stuff, junk off of like interior, like door panels and, kick panels and stuff like that. And obviously the rims with Clash of the Titans. I can't believe how great of a product that is.
I agree with you, and it's very unsung, and it's weird because, again, talking with my marketing guy, APCs aren't a huge volume mover. Like they're just not as sexy as some of the other stuff that's out there. But we designed the Kraken to be so versatile that it's more than just an APC. It's more than just an all-purpose cleaner. You can do so many cool things with it, and it works. It, like, when we designed it, I said I don't want like a multi-purpose cleaner. I don't want an all-purpose cleaner that can kind of sort of do stuff. I want it to be an all-purpose cleaner. So let's really concentrate it so that if you absolutely have to just really dig something out, it will work. But then you can also, and that's why we sell the kit, so that you can dilute it yourself. That if you don't need that much power, like, there's no reason to hit it with a sledgehammer if a tack hammer will do. But I want the capability of hitting something with a sledgehammer if I need to.
Right.
And so, that's what's really cool about having, a chemist that, technically works for you. He technically works for you. You can say, this is what I want, and make me a bicycle clown, and he makes it for you. And that's probably, for me, that's been one of the more rewarding parts of this job, is being able to cook for you guys in regards to detailing products. And the way that it works, and I couldn't be happier with the Kraken, and I use the Kraken on everything, because during the because of those dilutionable ratios, even at 10-1, which is what we consider to be the RTU version of it, at 10-1, it is still kicking the butt off of most all-purpose cleaners that are out there.
Absolutely, and I've done that comparison, and it's true. And we have a question by Texas Didi: how does Kraken work on tux mats? I haven't done it on tux mats, but I've done it on their main competitor and other floor mats. What I do is I use it at 10-1, 10 parts water to 1 part Kraken, and spray it on the mat. I only leave it set for like 10 seconds. And if you just very lightly mist some water on top of it, and then you take your brush and scrub the mat, it does foam. It's not Foam Town, but it foams on the pad. And if you look at my Instagram, go back, I don't know, maybe a month or whatever, I've got a picture of it in use. And it works great at 10-1. You don't need 5-1 or 3-1 to do floor mats. 10-1 is great with a brush. It works great. And you can do interior panels at 10-1. Oh, and guess what? I've been wanting to tell you this.
Okay.
Kraken. Okay, so on your driver's door, a lot of people put their arms down.
Right.
And you've got the normal colored hard plastic trim, and you've got like that whitish stain.
Yeah.
Where somebody puts their arm. It could be from lotion, it could be from sunscreen or whatever.
Sure.
You take the Kraken anywhere between 1 to 4 and 1 to 10, spray that on there, let it sit for 10 seconds or whatever. So far, that is the only thing I have found that takes that off. Nothing else takes it off that I
That's
have
fantastic.
used. I've used Extra Tough. I've used, tons of other stuff. Super Clean, various other ones. Only the Kraken that does it.
That's awesome.
Unsung hero. That is your unsung hero, Kraken. So I hope that answers Dee Dee's question. And hopefully she gets some. Because I don't think she has it. She didn't have that on her list.
No, she only has the 3: Titan, Apex, and Immortal.
Gotta get Kraken.
Yeah.
Kraken.
Again, Ryan Hansen, I put that up there. He's absolutely right. And it's weird because, there is there's a temptation to do all of those things. And, to basically almost, I hate to say it, but let's say, how do I say this without getting sued?
Don't say it.
There are other guys out there that will change the color and the scent of something and relabel it as a whole different product, but it's actually the same product but with a different color and a different scent.
Sure.
So I can see the appeal to that, and I can see the allure to doing something like that. But for me, it comes down to integrity, and for me, it comes down to integrity. And I don't have that in me. I'd rather have a forum like this where we can educate. I'd rather have a forum like the SDC where we can educate. I think that is why, like a moth to the flame, I have been drawn to you guys, because if you look at your videos that you put out, if you look at the videos of the 4 Horsemen that they put out, it is all about education. They're not hawking products. They're not trying to sell you on a product. You're not trying to sell someone in the product. You are trying to deliver information to your viewers, to your patrons, and say, hey, this has worked for me. I hope it works for you. And then it's always, let me know what you think in the comments below. And you're much more interested in the feedback. You're much more interested in imparting that knowledge onto the viewer, as opposed to just trying to sell and make a buck. And so that's why, to Ryan Hansen's point, that's why you just don't recolor and rebrand something that can ultimately do the same thing. I was having a conversation with Nacho Man on the phone. I want to say last week, but the days all blend together. Where we were talking about, like, I brought in raw materials to the warehouse, and they were delivered last Wednesday, to make glass cleaner. It's a pretty simple formula. It's a pretty simple recipe, and it's something that I have the ability to make right there in the warehouse. And and Nacho Man was pretty much like, that's what Hydra's for. I mean, Hydra works great as a glass cleaner. Why would you make a new glass cleaner when Hydra is the greatest glass cleaner I've ever used?
Huh.
And so now, I'm looking at two 55-gallon drums of raw materials, and I'm like, well, he
Oh,
makes an excellent point. And so you're constantly walking this line of marketing versus education. Where I can sleep, at night is knowing that they're two entirely different products. The ingredients are vastly different.
mhm.
So it's not like I'm just recoloring and rescenting something that we've already done, like the Hydra. Um, but he's absolutely right, and Brian from Apex, that's what he uses as a glass cleaner. That is his
Right.
only glass cleaner, is the Hydra. And you
Wow.
go, well, how much educational do I need to do to really sell Hydra as a glass cleaner? Or can I just make a glass cleaner and sell the glass cleaner and move on with my life? You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
it's one of those Fisher cut bait, Fisher cut bait, Fisher cut bait.
Or you can mix the Hydra in with your glass cleaner.
Well, now you're just getting crazy. Concoction, Tim. You're just talking. You're just talking mad scientist, Titan, Tim.
We're just blowing the mind of Humberto there.
Yeah, right.
Hey, why not?
So, anyway, that's
Interesting.
that's where I'm at. And the other thing is that you maniacs are also never happy. When we launched Furies on Friday, and Sunday people were saying, "So what's next for Phoenix? What's next? What is Phoenix going to drop next?" Just like, can you give me a week to celebrate the Furies? Can you just give me the week before you start
Right.
asking for more, you maniacs? But no, I appreciate it and I love it.
Yep,
Um,
definitely.
the support has always been just amazing from this group of people. So, Tim, have you ever heard of and tried Wizards Mist and Shine Detailer? If so, how does it compare to your
Ooh,
mix?
good question. I use Wizards about the last time I used it was probably about 14 years ago, at least. I haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
Um,
They make an
I know it.
incredible they make an incredible metal polish.
Yes,
It's insane. If you guys are dealing with chrome, motorcycles, whatnot, I I tell you, Wizards probably makes the best metal polish I've ever seen.
I have a bottle of it.
It looks like cotton candy.
Hmm.
It's wild, and you can take the paint off of a Coca-Cola can. Oh, speaking of which, I noticed that Fab didn't bother to show up today, probably because he knew he was outclassed and outgunned. But cherry Coca-Cola in the house. What is that? What is that?
I,
What is that, Tim?
I brought a Pepsi just in case
What
Fab would
you know what? The only
chime in.
reason why someone in South Carolina would bring a Pepsi can or a Pepsi bottle to this battle is because he's not from South Carolina. He's from Minnesota, and only Minnesota's people drink Pepsi. You
Pepsi was
literally,
born in Carolina.
you know, you like literally live 2 hours away from the Coca-Cola headquarters in the universe, Atlanta, Georgia. It's fantastic. I don't know if you've ever been to the Coca-Cola Museum, but it is awesome. There's like, what happened? Where'd you go? What just happened? I,
Switcheroo.
I didn't touch it. Did you?
Now you switched it back.
Um, Pepsi rules. Spoken like a true person who's not from this country. Come on, Humberto. Stop it. Stop it. There you go. All right. See, and that's why we're better than you. I'm just saying. I don't think I've ever had it with apple juice.
Coke has no reply to Mountain Dew. What is it called? Mellow Yellow?
Mellow yellow.
Who drinks that?
Nobody. So what we're not talking about. We're not talking about citrusy, radioactive yellow drink. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, not Mountain Dew versus That's no, oh, okay. So if we're gonna go down Mountain Dew versus Mellow Yellow, how about Sierra Mist versus Sprite? Really, Sierra Mist?
7-Up wins.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I tell you, so probably the greatest belching producing soft beverage is 7-Up. I tell you what, if you chug a 7-Up, I have the greatest. Why are we talking like this? I don't even know.
You got to swirl it around in your mouth first
Mm-hmm.
before you swallow it.
I love it. I love
And
it.
then
And then you make
that much
a
more.
Shirley Temple out of it with pour a little grenadine into that. Yeah.
And now we got Mr. Pibb versus Dr. Pepper. You know Dr. Pepper wins that completely.
Who makes Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
Is that right? I don't know who makes it. I don't know who makes it. I really don't. But I mean, a Mister versus a doctor, there's no comparison unless you're talking Walmart, and I think it's called Thunder, Mr. Thunder, or something stupid. The Walmart brand. That's funny.
In the midst of all this fun, we have a question. Tim, what are your go-to products for polished aluminum wheels?
The Furies.
Polished aluminum wheels. Are we talking about the heavy-duty grinding that you have to do on aluminum?
Yeah, like basically,
I don't like
I guess he's talking. Well, he says the go-to products, so he's looking for everything. What is your process for approaching a polished aluminum wheel? And go.
Well, it's two products from a company that you may not want to say. So, one of them is in a white metal box, and it looks like cotton candy. And another one's a liquid from the same company. And it's like winning an award. It's like winning a medallion. Actually, that's my go-to for number one. If I'm polishing aluminum wheels where you got to use a drill.
Well, what about cleaning it before you get to the polishing part? What about cleaning them? Like, let's start with your process.
I will use a alkaline car soap first.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I have not used. No, wait a second. That Mercedes had aluminum wheels. I used the Furies and the Kraken on the aluminum wheels, and I didn't take it any farther. Yep. So Furies and Kraken on aluminum wheels. But if you're polishing, well, then I'll use a wheel polish. There's Blue Magic is one of them. I got one of those. It comes in a little blue bottle. But yeah, any one of those.
Okay.
Yep. But Kraken and the Furies on the rims, that's the ticket.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So, okay. Sam's Cola is good. No, thanks. That's okay.
I've never had it.
Nope. Actually, was it Bubble Up? Anybody remember Bubble Up? That was my favorite.
When I was a kid, my grandpa used to buy me Cherokee Red. And I bet nobody outside of the northwestern Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio knows what that is. But it was a cherry soda. And it had this ginormous Indian head on it. I don't know if they make it anymore, probably because it's not very PC. But Cherokee Red, and it was pure sugar. It was pure cherry flavored sugar. There you go. Keith Firebird, Bubble Up, and Canfield's 50/50. I don't even know what that is.
Canfield's, no, never heard of that.
Big Red, it is about time. Oh my gosh, man. The party is not a party until Big Red shows up. I was starting to lose hope.
I know, he made it. Awesome. That's so cool. checking
Big
in
Red.
late,
You
but you're
can get
checking
Big
in.
Red. I think they sell Big Red at Mission Barbecue now. I don't know when the last time you guys went to a Mission Barbecue, but
Wow.
I'm pretty positive you can get Big Red there. And I think you can also get Big Red at another American staple, Cracker Barrel. I think they sell it at Cracker Barrel as well.
Huh, how about that? And whoever has checked in recently, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. Check and see if you're subscribed to Phoenix E.O.D. If you're not subscribed, you guys got to subscribe.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
Aaron needs a lot more subscribers than what's showing up here.
Oh, it's terrible. It's all right.
That
I don't
is
really have a lot
for
of
sure.
content. I mean, Brian from Apex has been busting my chops for going on 2 years now to get content up about the products, and there's instructional videos and stuff like that. But I mean,
Yep. Okay, Superado, Keith, Clifford, Dee Dee, Nacho Man, Ryan, are you guys subscribed? If you're not subscribed, click that subscribe button and click the like button. That would be awesome.
Tim, did you see this?
What?
Big Red with whipped cream vodka? What? That sounds like a good time.
Huh.
Jolt. Good old Jolt. Oh my goodness.
I like Mountain Dew Livewire. Mountain Dew Livewire. That is so good. When it's hot outside.
Titan Tim. Mountain Dew Livewire. Oh my goodness.
I drink Sunkist a lot when it's hot out.
This is like learning that Brian from Apex likes heavy metal. Mountain Dew Livewire? I can't imagine seeing you cranked up on sugar and caffeine.
Oh my God.
It's
Watch out.
It's probably a good time.
6 cups of coffee every morning when I get up.
Probably finish a Rubik's Cube in about 20 seconds. Oh,
I can't stand that stuff. No.
Done. Somebody else give me another drink.
What's that puzzle people do? A Sudoku or whatever?
Yeah. The math
I can't
puzzles.
stand that. I can't stand it.
How's that possible? That seems like it would be like right up your analytical brain.
No. That and Rubik's and no. Us engineers are weird fellows.
This Big Red makes a good point here. This is something that Apex and I talk about fairly regularly, usually like every other Friday. I don't know what's going on with the algorithms, but like Brian will post stuff, and I mean, and I'm about as involved with Apex as I am with Phoenix, and I don't get any of his alerts. And he's saying that something about the YouTube algorithms have been so wonky lately. Are you experiencing any of that? Like, I don't know how it works, but apparently it's way off these days, and I don't understand why. And none of this stuff is political. It's not like they're trying to silence a political opinion about anything. All of you guys stay well out of the political.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple times I don't get notifications, and I have to hunt them down myself. And who was it? There's a couple people, and I actually mentioned it in a comment. I did not get a notification. I had to hunt them down or go through the subscriber list. But yeah, it's kind of weird. So very strange. Make sure that bell is rung. See if you see the bell with the 2 lines on the side of it. You see that.
Tim, I have the bell rung for you, and until you send me a text message, hey, did you see the video that I just did on Papa Cut? And I'm like, no, I'll go look for it right now because I don't get that alert. It's really weird.
Strange. It's very strange.
Yeah, Tim, I must
maybe
check.
Chemical Guys is putting a target on you all.
Maybe.
That's pretty funny.
It's funny. I got a notification that I got a notification yesterday that somebody is following you, and it's funny. It's kind of a really cool feeling when you see somebody somebody in the industry that's following you for no other reason than to see what you're up to, it's kind of a good feeling. Without getting into without showing too many cards, I got a notification that so and so is following you, and I was just like, yeah, it's because you want to know what I'm up to, and I like it. Like when we were at the Southern Detailers Convention, when IGL, the neighbor on the other aisle, walked over to see what all the commotion was over at booth 115. You just kind of like,
really?
That's right. That's right. That's right. You want to come see what the new kid's doing. That's right. That's why everybody's over at my booth and not at your booth. Sorry.
Yep. That's the innovation factor. That's the evolve or die. That's the aspire to evolve.
100%.
When you're sitting on your laurels, when you're stuck in status quo, when you're doing a compound that you think is the best of everything and something else better comes out and you don't try it, then that's what happens. Then the people aren't there. The sales are moderate, but what have they done to improve the product? And every company needs to ask that. And I don't care what industry you're in, keep improving.
100%, all the time. And the crazy thing about my side of the field and your side of the field, but from two different aspects, is that we don't have any control over the manufacturers. We don't have any control over the individual manufacturers, Ford, Chevy, Nissan, Toyota, whatever. We don't have any control over them. We don't have any control over the makes and models. We don't have any control over the years. And all of those paints, I hear you guys talk about it all the time. Every single make and model and year, the paint is different. So you, the detailer, has to adjust your technique. And me, the manufacturer of these products, we have to be able to adapt and evolve to what's out there. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, even I would venture to say even 8 years ago, the rotary was reign supreme. The rotary was the machine. And the appeal behind it was it ran really fast and really hot, and it could cut through imperfections like that. We didn't have to worry about it. Paint was thick and it was beautiful, and you could just grind really quick and really fast and really hard and do a paint correction. You could get a paint correction done in whatever amount of time, very, very shortly, very, very quickly. And now that the paint is changed, the machinery has to change, i.e. the DA. The pads, you're no longer using the wool pad for cutting, and do you remember I'm talking about the 9-inch? It looks like the side of a sheep, where it's got the big woolly nap, and not like that wool pad. I'm talking about like it's big and it's round and it's got those really big woolly loops. And it really looks like the side of a sheep. They're very effective for what they were trying to do. I had a 1979 Chevy Malibu station wagon, and this thing was a monster. I mean, I ended up driving it through a roadblock once, and it didn't touch that car. You know what I mean? It just drove right through it, just for the hell of doing it. Anyway, and that's what that machine and those pads and those compounds, that's what they were designed for. But now there's a lot more finesse to it. And in my opinion, just from watching you guys, there's a lot more finesse involved. And you just have to know your paints, and you have to know your makes and models. And you know what I mean? Listening to Fab go to town. I think that the skill involved, just from the skill involved that you guys need to deal with today's manufacturing of cars is light years ahead of what you had to know before.
It's ridiculous. I can take a car from 2015 on back, and especially the single stage. And, I can mow down the paint, and I can, do so much with the paint. And then a brand new Tesla now, you don't dare take a wool pad to a Tesla.
Right.
No way.
Chris, to address your comment, you're 100% right. We, in New Jersey, we have tons of marinas. Gel coat is way different than clear coat. They're two different monsters. Gel coat responds very well to heat, and that's what those wool pads, they're designed to generate a lot of heat, and those rotaries, they'll generate a lot of heat. They go really, really fast, and that's why they do have their place with gel coats. You're 100% right.
Yep.
Sorry,
If you have to do a two-step on a newer, softer, thin paint, you have to use foam. You have to use like a coarse foam and then a fine foam. Even a Euro 50/50, it would come out cloudy on a Tesla. I tried it. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
No go. So, that's where I mentioned the jeweling polishes before. Okay, we need a moderate polish, which we have. I look forward to more jeweling polishes coming out.
I'm working on one. I'm working on one. I think you're hinting. I think you're teasing.
Yep.
I think you're
teasing. In the future, it's the secret weapon.
It is. It really, really is.
Because when these cars are going to need correction, you can't take a strong compound to it. Can't do it. If to do a two-step, you got to do a medium polish and then a jeweling polish. How many jeweling polishes are out there? Okay, that's a hole that is going to come up in a year or 2 and 3 down the road. Maybe not too much now, but it's coming, I think. I could be wrong, but I think so.
B. Stewart, appreciate you coming out, man. I know that we're running a little bit long. It's we're 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we can head out whenever.
But thanks for coming out, B. Stewart. Appreciate you.
Yeah, definitely.
Full show.
Absolutely. So, yeah, and the other thing I noticed, and I think I called you once, I was doing a new Tesla, and the paint was super soft and super thin, and I was putting on Chronos, and it didn't wipe off right. And Phil Miranda, when he was on your live stream a week or two ago, he even confirmed that the new paints, products aren't working very well on them. They're not working as well as what you're typically used to. So like compounds, when you wipe them, they wipe a little bit more smeary. They don't wipe off as clean. And I don't care what compound it is, because I would find that out. And it's like, oh, wow. I'll try a couple different other compounds. Same thing.
Right.
So not now, but in a year or 2, that's going to need to be addressed.
Sure. 100%. Like the industry is constantly changing. And it's not like Ford is sending out an email or a mass letter to anybody. Hey, just so you know, we're no longer going with this paint. We're going with this paint. And even with the chemical composition is of that paint. It's one of those things where it's kind of like, you, the detailer, have to keep your finger on the pulse. And then I, the manufacturer, have to keep my finger on the pulse of you guys and constantly respond to that feedback. And it's one of those things where it's just like, all right, well, if the alert goes out by Tim sends the information to me, I immediately send that information to 4 other detailers, and I go, all right, so this is what this guy has experienced. A, replicate it. B, have you experienced it? B or C, because he's experiencing this, in your opinion, what would be the appropriate response to this? What can I send to Tim to help him get through that particular situation, just to get him through that situation. You know what I mean? Like I take it very personally that I feel responsible for all of you guys that are using my product. And so when you encounter a problem, I need to be able to, I'm Gary Sinise in Apollo 13. You guys are all the astronauts, and I just got to bring you home. I just have to figure out how to get you home, and then once we get you home, then we can figure out how to move forward. And that's that for me. That's pretty much what my role is. And so when you're out in the field and you're doing the detail and you experience that problem, the first text message that goes out is to the chemist. Boom! I have a detailer that is experiencing this. What do you know about that? Go. And then it immediately goes to the other 6 members of the group that didn't originate the alert, right? So if Tim sends the alert, it goes to these 5 guys. If Ryan sends out the alert, then it goes to Tim and those other 4 guys. You know what I mean? So that's how that. Oh, Fab, you finally showed up and you missed it, buddy. We had a whole discussion about how Cherry Coke completely rules over Cherry Pepsi. Don't mind him. Hold on a second. Wait, how do I do this?
It's Pepsi time.
Wrong guy. How do I get out of him? I don't want you. You're removed. Dropped you out. So now Cherry Coke reigns supreme, and there's nothing that you can do about it. All right, you're back. Totally dropped the ball on that one. Smack dab middle of a detail. If anyone needs me, Aaron, read it out loud. Dad. So Tim, you didn't get a chance to stay with us at the hotel.
I was whipped. Absolutely whipped.
So we were in room 1224. And because of the superstitions of hotels, there's no 13th floor. So Eric was in room 1418. And I don't know if you saw his pictures, but the hotel was like a big kind of triangular, rectangular, squarish sphere, where the whole center was missing. And it was terrifying. It was horrible. And he loved it, and it was absolutely wonderful. I had a Cherry Coke at Wendy's, and it was absolutely amazing. It was the best thing I ever had. Good. So anyway, my room kind of sort of was like right there facing his room. I got these great pictures. If I ever get a chance to post all the content that I have, it was fantastic. So I was standing at my door waiting for him to come out of his room so I could take pictures of him come out of his room. We were right there. And so we were obnoxious high school kids the entire time that we stayed there. So he would yell from his floor. He would be like, "Dad! Dad!" And then I don't know if you have ever seen that YouTube video where the 2 guys are standing across from each other on a lake, and you go, "Hey, what's your name?" Tony. F you, Tony. Just screaming this. Oh, we're horrible. I'm surprised we didn't get kicked out. Oh, it was a good time. We had a great time. Again, it wasn't the conference that we were there for. It was for the camaraderie and just absolute fellowship. So it was really fantastic.
Yep.
I completely derailed this conversation, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tim. You deserve better.
Brian missed most of it. He's gotta watch this from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, we showed him enough love.
Oh, big time. Oh yeah, definitely. Mike goodness. Chiming in. Mike Chickley. Is that how you pronounce it?
There he is. 'Twas a great time. Absolutely. It really, really, really. Big Mike. Let me tell you about this dude. I mean, there is something about the Phoenix family, the Fab family, the Papa Smurf family. There is something about this family that there is an immediate recognition of kinship. It really is. I mean, like, so Big Mike came down. He went to the show. We met him at the Southern, like for the first time ever. That's where I met him from. I drove 11 hours to get to the Southern Detailers Conference. He drove about 11 hours to get to the Southern Detailers Conference.
10 for me.
10 for you. But the point of that story is that we both drove 11 hours to meet somebody that lives 2 hours away from each other. So once we found out where each other existed, he drove down to the warehouse yesterday. We hung out. We had lunch together. We broke bread,
Cool.
which in my opinion is truly the only way that that kin deserve to interact with each other is over, breaking bread. You need to eat with each other. That's true family. So he comes down, spends the afternoon. He's coming back tomorrow on his way to a biker convention. And it's I just like you when you interact another soul that syncs up with your soul, it's beautiful. And I'm just really glad that Big Mike is on our team for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yes. Great guy.
Definitely is not about quantity. It's about quality. And everybody in this room right now, the capital, top of the line people in this room.
If you're going to do something, do it right. Do it right the first time.
So Chris Green, I was actually talking with Andrew. What day is today, Tim? Thursday. So I guess it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was talking with Andrew Simpiri from Ospro Detailing out of Sydney. I believe he's in Sydney. I should know. He's a distributor. Anyway, it's a lot of apple juice today. Probably we're looking at maybe 2025. We're coming. We're doing the Four Horsemen Aussie invasion. Hopefully, maybe 2025. And we're going to go to Brisbane and we're going to eat their burgers. And then we'll blog about Brisbane burgers because apparently they're some of the best in the world. So we're coming, Chris. We're coming.
Sweet. That would be an awesome trip.
This guy. All right. You know what? Since we're family here, I'm going to share a little bit of a story. Do you remember Saturday night? We were doing the live stream on Fab's Automotive Detailing, Fab's Family Channel, doing the live stream. And one of my jobs was to get Eric to the airport Sunday morning. And it was like a 4:30 adventure to take him to the airport.
Right.
On Fab's Family live stream, you guys all watched me set my alarm to wake up to get him in the morning, get him to the airport. My alarm never went off. I woke up naturally at 5:30 in the morning, which is about an hour too late. Apparently, behind my back, Papa Smurf and Fab made arrangements that Fab would take him to the airport anyway, because they didn't have faith in me at all.
Okay.
It's been 2 weeks, and I imagine it's going to go on 2 years, and they're still never going to let me live it down. I woke up at 5:30. I immediately called Eric, and I was just like, "Dude, where are you? What are you doing?" And he was just like, "I'm walking to the airport." You forgot to pick me. I was waiting for you and everything at 4:30.
Oh
and
my.
So yeah, they have ridden me hard on this, and I mean, I do feel bad. I'm glad that he made it home. I'm glad he didn't miss his flight. I'm glad all of those things.
Yep.
It would have been absolutely horrible. I mean, did he ever knock on my door? The answer is no. Clearly, he knew where I lived because, I mean, he was yelling "Dad" for the last 3 days. I'm just saying, like, there are things that could have been done to ensure that he had gotten that ride from me. But since they had already made plans for Fab to take him to the airport, as a plan B, I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm glad I slept. There, I went right back to bed and rolled over and went to sleep. So there.
Yep.
I don't even care. That's how I feel.
Taken care of. Oh boy, never going to hear the end of that.
I'm just saying there's been conflicting reports, Fab. So, like a true friend, I answered the phone. Oh my God. Let me just tell you about true friendship here. All right. There was definitely a lot more going on than just friendship. Like, I felt like when I sat down in between the two of them during the live stream, like I definitely was getting in between a dog and his bone for sure. Like I ran the risk of getting bit. I didn't care.
You were kind of like backed off.
Yeah, I was totally like, let you guys have your moment. I probably shouldn't have sat here to begin. Shouldn't have sat here to begin with. Cool. So good.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh
it
my
was
God.
the best time. Honestly, it was the best time. So anyway, all right. So we're approaching the 3-hour mark, which is
we can wrap it up whenever here.
We probably should. It's 11 o'clock on a school night. Well, I guess most kids have gotten out of school by now. It is the middle of June.
Sure.
Tim, thank you so much for coming on the show. Truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Your support from the very beginning has just been absolutely invaluable to me, and the trajectory that we've gone on. Your critical mind is fascinating, and I lean heavily on it. You're always available to me, which I truly appreciate. You are truly a remarkable human being. I know that there is definite divine guidance in your life, and it shows. And I appreciate who you are, and I appreciate I truly appreciate the friendship that you've extended to me. It's a humbling experience. So I just want to thank you for everything that you do and who you are to me. So thank you.
No, thank you. Same to you as well. My gosh. And everybody out there. I mean, big time family here. So really appreciate it immensely. So
yeah,
100%. Fun.
All right. Well, Fab, you have a good night. I think we're all going to wind up, and we're going to be signing off here very shortly. What's that? Yeah, make sure you give me a likes and a smash and a thumbs and all that. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate you. Happy Father's Day. You're right, Humberto. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there that has been lucky enough to sire a child, and for those who have not sired a child, say thank you to your father. Yes. For allowing you to be here tonight. I appreciate you guys. So everybody have a great night. I appreciate you coming out, supporting the channel, supporting Tim, supporting Phoenix for sure. We are truly a family, and I truly appreciate everybody that's here tonight, and people that watch it in the future, if you do choose to watch it in the future. So thanks.
Absolutely.
Everybody have a great night, and we'll talk to you. The next show is going to be with Nacho Man. Originally scheduled for Sunday the 25th. I don't know if it's still going to be Sunday the 25th because his plans got pushed back a little bit, and I'm trying to make it as timely to what he's trying to do to promote him and what he's trying to do. So stay tuned. It might be the 25th. It might be a little bit closer to the 4th of July or something, the 5th or something. I don't know. And we will be running a sale as always for the 4th of July. So stay tuned, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yep. See you guys later. Thank you.